Everybody, welcome to the first ever podcast of Rambology by GISA. I am Alex, and I'm joined here today by Katya, John, Wyatt, Kyle, and Mike. Now we're just gonna
Hello.
be fucking
Hey.
rambling and bullshitting about anything and everything. So
That's what we
grab
do.
yourself a drink and let's fucking start. Actually, so
Okay.
one thing I saw, and I know we've all been waiting for updates of Valheim. They just announced today that they're gonna be finishing up the Hearth and Home DLC.
Did they announce that
Oh,
they're finishing up, or
yes.
did they fucking?
So
I
they
saw the
s-
update. I thought they were just like giving an update on the fucking shit.
So they said that they're back from their summer vacation, which means that they're going to be finishing up for this quarter. So
Right.
I expect it at the end of August because they sound like they already had it pretty far done. But I mean, it could be any time until like the end of September. And I know what you're gonna say, but you're like, I want it now. But
That's me. I'm like ready to fucking play that game.
yeah, I miss the game because it is.
Me
fucking
too.
fun as hell.
It's so good.
Wait, did they
Like,
take it down? Wait, what happened? Did they take it down or something? Or like, why is it like?
What?
looking-
No, they didn't
down.
take it.
It's just a.
They
Like, I meant, like-
absolutely fucking got rid of that shit.
Yeah, they just nuked it. They're like, all right, we gotta wait for the next update. Nuke it now.
mm,
No,
that's
I-
what we do around
I haven't,
here.
like I said, I haven't played the game, so
When
it's
has
like I have.
John become a fucking legend at this?
I'm bad at this game, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
It's his connection. It's
Yeah.
straight up his connection.
Honestly,
no, last
man.
time it was my
But,
connection.
yeah.
This time it's just all not pure skill.
Oh yeah, by the way, if anybody's wondering, we are gonna be playing video games in the background just to fucking make things go. So if you hear us screaming and panting like little schoolgirls, that's why.
Or me just
Well, I
making
mean-
Fuck, kill him,
random
kill him!
noises.
John!
Yeah.
Get up!
Well, I mean, you guys are schoolgirls, so what's the difference?
Yeah.
Gang up on him.
I think, Mike, we're just gonna have to have a 1v1 over
But I've been fucking
since,
waiting
you
for
know-
Val. You fucking retard.
Oh, yeah, so Valheim.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the topic we were supposed to be talking about.
Back to our first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
already diverged.
Yeah.
Valheim itself
Redirection.
is already fun, but the main issue is Hearth and Home is gonna add so
Fuck
much
you.
to the game that it's like, why the fuck would we just like?
I don't think it's
hang
gonna add
out?
like too much. It's gonna add a fair bit, but
let me just say this:
Yeah, it's
I'm
gonna add
tired
a-
of building everything in thatch. I want to have a nice
Oh
build.
god, yes.
Oh, you don't
That
want
is
to live
true.
in
That
Thatch
can
Land?
be annoying.
I don't want to have an absolute shitty fucking home.
I've been looking
Alice.
at some Viking
Fucking
fucking
bitch.
shit, and I'm like super stoked to start building again. As I always am. John, get the fuck away from me!
I wanted to. So one of my biggest issues was it was really hard to build a fucking bridge across water, and I hope
Oh.
that's something
Oh
that
my
gets
God.
addressed. 'Cause you saw
Stone
how long it took
supports.
me. It took me what, like 20 hours to build a map. No,
It
it
took
wasn't
you-
that long. It was like something probably like 10.
Kyle and I got from like basic stone tools to fucking silver by the time you got done with that bridge because it kept falling down.
Yeah, it was really tough to build just because you're fighting against not being able to swim down. So seriously, all they had to do is just add like a ability to dive, and if you can dive, you could build super easily.
It
Because
would
that
be
was my
so
biggest
much more
issue.
If you can dive, then you
easier
can start
to
drowning.
Oh,
and
have
that'd be
that.
amazing.
Just drown.
I don't think they're gonna add an ability to dive, although I think
Oh.
fucking
Well, they should at least. I mean,
Is-
what if you drop an item in the
Full-on
water and you
swimming
can't
would
really
be a
get
lot
it?
easier.
That's true.
So,
Oh!
I can
Um,
definitely see that being a good point. Like, so why they need a function like that?
mm.
Yeah, plus,
So
plus-
do you? Sorry.
Yeah,
Do you
go
guys
ahead.
have any idea of what they're going to add specifically, or is it all up in the air?
So for one, they are adding new building. I already saw.
Okay.
So they in this recent patch news they said
Fuck!
they showed an iron gate, so like an interior iron gate. So if you wanted to make a prison cell or have like a treasure hoard,
Oh,
they also
okay.
added treasure chests you can build and
Ooh.
piles of gold, so you can display your wealth, which is super cool in my opinion.
Ah, yes.
'cause
Just what I want to
money
do.
after you buy the fucking the strength belt and the light
Ah,
candle.
no,
thing,
no,
or,
my
like, the thing
power.
on your head. You have no use for your money besides bait,
Mhm.
and bait's super cheap, so you can like now put it all out and show like your massive Viking horde, which in my mind that's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It
If I
also
can't-
frees up so much space in your fucking chest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Having a
if I can't
chest for
flaunt my successes on the other people, that's not a good game. I want there to be a class division. I want to be
I
able
want
to
there to
flaunt.
be a class division.
Class division.
Jesus.
All right, I want this
Fuck
to be an EA game within the next 3 days, and there better
Pay
be
to win
fucking...
immediately.
You made a win.
I want. There's got to be a visual representation of how much better I am than you. No exceptions.
If I can't flaunt my successes onto other people, what kind of game is this?
Class
actually
division
something-
is a
Honestly.
thing in this game. I want everyone to
what-
know that.
We'll do the
Oh,
civilian
God.
Activision walkout.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Where the hell did I win?
Yeah, but like, it's funny because I don't know if any of you watch Russian Badger. I was watching this video yesterday about
Oh,
Halo
he's
Reach.
fantastic.
It's funny how Halo Reach still to this day is probably one of the most popular games out there.
Is it?
Fucking,
terms of
have you guys
multiplayer?
seen the fucking?
But it's because it's not pay to win. It's actually a fun multiplayer.
But
I
what
know we're
about
not diverging from Valheim, but it's like I think this is important also to talk about video
Oh,
games
one
in
of-
general.
you talk about Halo Reach, but what about Halo 3 though?
But Halo just in general.
Has
you're all
anybody
on an
seen the
equal
fucking
level with
multiplayer
everybody else because the
gameplay
guns are
of
the
Halo
same.
Infinite?
The guns are the same. So it doesn't matter what gun, you're not paying to win for like a bunch of decked out stats like I'm a perfect killing machine, like Badger said. And it's more fun when you're dying by people who are actually skilled instead of just pay to win. Because when
Has
people are
anybody seen the fucking Halo Infinite multiplayer stuff?
I
Yes.
saw it, I'm
No.
excited.
Yeah, it doesn't look half bad.
I'm trying to
I'm-
drink, fuck off.
Are you finished drinking? Can we continue now?
Yeah, sorry, it was killing it.
There we go. Sorry, we just had to pause the podcast for Alex's drinking problem.
Can you fucking say like 30 words, but like in a single sentence and not broken up?
Kyle,
No,
Come
that's
on.
asking too much. That's why I'm here, just to break things up a little bit, just so it's not constant words after words. Just get a little bit of pause.
Yeah, this abhorrent fucking,
Absolutely terrible fucking thing. You know how it'll go.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
I
so
almost
tragic,
died.
Alex.
And I'm a fucking badass in every game I play. Sorry.
I don't know.
A
I
little
don't-
bit of a brag there.
I don't know about that.
My cock is too huge.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh.
You were-
Okay.
Ah.
Oh no!
Come on,
That's
you can't be
5
disclosing
minutes
this
down the
stuff.
drain.
Bro,
Jesus.
I have to.
No,
But yeah, so
you don't.
back on the subject of games, I think just in general, I think this is why, we were
Back on
discussing
the
earlier.
subject, what are you, a
just-
fucking lecture hall?
He
He's my
always
professor.
makes something a lecture hall.
Fuck
That's
you.
what Alex does. He never stops
Sorry,
talking.
I'm a semi-intellectual.
He is. He acts like he's fucking, I don't know, like a teacher that you just
Good?
fall asleep to sometimes.
I mean,
no
I am-
offense.
you-
No
I am.
offense.
I am a
I do
non-commissioned
fall asleep
officer.
to
I'm
these
pretty much a
conversations.
teacher for moronic infantrymen.
I
don't
feel
know
like
about
you
that.
would be a great professor, without doubt.
I regret.
Fuck, I'm not going for a doctorate. But
you are.
So no,
Everybody
we
should go for a doctorate. That way they can say they did.
dude, I'm going for my master's. That's it. I'm almost done.
No, no, no,
I
no,
got-
no,
I mean,
dude,
I mean,
fucking
if
consider
you're
it,
going
dude.
for your masters, you're halfway there. Why not just do it?
No, because a doctorate's way longer, and I'm not going to do it in business.
Yeah, and you-
can't
you
do a
gotta
doctorate in
do-
business.
There's
I
a
do it
lot
in
of work
psychology, so
applied.
I could just be like, "Yo, you fucking."
Gunned you
Fuck,
down.
I lost my train of thought, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
so
I-
back on, we were talking earlier about fucking AAA games, just in general, and
No, we
just and
weren't.
games in general. No, it's when we were bringing up this idea of talking about this subject, and I think just in general, gaming today has just become. I really
Boring.
don't see a big future for a lot of
It's
these
boring.
big
It's-
AAA
it's-
games if they're going to keep up what they're doing.
It's been
Because it's-
boring.
Alex,
It's a
Okay,
whole
so
lot
I
of,
gotta disagree because I see many fucking companies changing their tune about how they want to pursue consumer service.
mhm.
I know it may seem stupid, but fucking so far it's only EA and their fucking what is it series of fucking soccer games and other
Well, it's like-
games like it, like the card
FIFA.
genre.
Wanna play some
Yeah.
FIFA?
It's also like Bungie, Activision, all these Blizzard, obviously, and all these fucking games.
Have
I
you
think
se-
if they want to do the pay to win, they need to make games free. I think that was something that
yeah,
I
more
really
like
like
a
about free
subscriber.
games.
No, not even like a subscriber model, just like fucking free.
Well,
I
I
that's
don't
what.
even
Thanks.
think pay to win will work as a fucking practice simply because it's so.
I think as much as we shit on Wargaming, I think Wargaming actually does it pretty good. Where they,
Well-
it's a free game. Yeah, it sucks if you're not paying for the game, but you can
Mhm.
still have fun, and there's
I
plenty
will-
of things to do.
Yeah, I will say there are games that you have to pay for cosmetics, and that's where all their money comes in, either loot boxes or cosmetics, where it doesn't affect the game itself,
Mhm.
but all their income is coming in from like, hey, you want to look pretty? Give us $5 and we'll make your character look completely different.
Yeah, that's just talking about like
That's
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare when that started.
Yeah, like Advanced
Also,
Warfare,
like,
yeah,
League
you
of
know,
Legends.
Star Wars Old Republic, they're known for that. Like, if you want to get like awesome
Oh.
apparel or stuff like that. Well, I mean, at least for me.
That's old MMOs though. It's like that's a pretty
Yeah.
old MMO, and
I mean,
most
you
This is
can,
MMOs did that.
we're mostly
Dota.
about like multiplayer though.
Fucking, I haven't
Or
heard
like
of
a
that in
mass-
while.
Oh, dude, I remember Dota 2 because you would like sell your skins and try to collect the most expensive ones. I don't know if anybody else did that, but I was like,
Fucking, isn't that
money
something like
scheme.
CS:GO?
that's exactly how it
yeah,
is.
that's skins with CS:GO. I used to do that too. I used to do like the or watch all the guys that would do the loot boxes. Like I was like Smitty and
Oh my god.
Cryos. Was those guys that used to do that all the
Yeah,
time?
Oh
yeah,
my
they
god,
did it.
fucking cryos.
Oh, they spend like thousands of dollars to make maybe
Did not
$50 more than what they spent.
Yeah. It's just like I think
So-
it's
Well,
also
not that
like the-
exact. It'd be like small percentages. Like fucking,
Yeah, it's super small percentages, but like you'd be better off doing like sales.
yeah. It's also like it's also like the thrill of it that comes along with it.
True, I mean it's gambling. If you want to really put it down to like the nitty gritty, it's a type of gambling in a sense.
Yeah, it's a form of gambling. It's just assuming.
never tread on me, mate.
I will
but
step on
fucking,
you
have
all
you
the
guys
way.
seen what fucking
Use your words.
fucking
Today, Junior.
Hey mate, shut the fuck up.
Oh my god.
And he
that's
says
so
I
mean.
can't put
Hey,
words
In
you,
my
together.
opinion.
you gotta join in the fucking Blizzard Activision lockout. Fuck World of Warcraft, don't log into their streams. Or
I
not
do
streams.
have to say, I played that game religiously when I was young, and I miss
So
it
it's
so
your religion now?
much.
Take
Like,
it up on
I, get
another
the, I
religion.
actually support the walkout. If there's really so much sexual harassment and pay
Mhm.
discrimination, like yeah, dude, fuck Activision and Blizzard and those shit.
Honestly.
But I'm not
Fucking
gonna stop playing certain Activision
Katja,
games.
when I was
can't.
younger, my uncle, I went, not my uncle.
I
but
thought you
my
were
fucking-
gonna continue this. My uncle worked
sorry,
at Activision.
No, my second cousin,
Nintendo
third
joke.
removed dog's cousin.
No, but not my uncle. My stepdad's brother. He
Mhm.
fucking gave me his. He helped me set up a Blizzard account so I could play World of Warcraft. I
My
played
brother did
shit-
that too.
Yeah, I played that shit once.
Dude, this sounds like a porn like
Played that
porn
shit
like
once.
storyline. Like,
God,
oh, my
it's
stepdad
never
came
again.
in and he helped me set up a
Oh my god.
World of Warcraft account, and then we got a little frisky.
No, but I fucking played for like about 30 minutes, and then I had to leave his house because we were going home, and we never
Mhm.
played that again.
Oof. So
Damn.
I don't know, like World of Warcraft, with that, like different things that they release, like I don't know, like every 5-6 years, would they be called DLC? Like Cataclysm and
Expansions.
like, oh okay.
Let's
I guess it could be.
Depending
Yeah.
on the size is definitely
The question
main.
is here, which
no,
one
no,
is
no,
the
not
best
DLC,
one?
expansions.
Expansions. That's what I was trying. I just
It's a subscription service game, isn't
yeah.
it?
I normally get things mixed up, so I apologize.
Yeah, you only
Oh, wow.
trigger about half the audience.
Yeah.
With that.
But like Kyle, if you were to be playing now, which one would be your favorite?
Oh.
None of them.
Oh
None
my
of them.
god.
Oh.
It's difficult for me to say because I've never fucking really got into World of Warcraft or fucking stuff like
Oh.
that, and its style is I don't know, like because I'm looking forward to Ashes of Creation, so
Okay. Gotcha.
I guess
Oh,
I guess
well.
I never had a chance, but I have heard
Mhm.
fucking Asmongold talk about it, so.
Mhm.
And
All right. Well, I was gonna say like my favorite one personally was the Cataclysm one. I think it was like really neat.
well,
How they
that was
created
probably about the time you were playing it.
Yeah.
The only-
Well, yeah, that's pretty much the time. I'm not sure exactly because I think I started playing before the Cataclysm came out. I don't remember what year it did.
You're an idiot,
But-
John.
It's been
Yeah,
so long.
okay.
But
The
yeah.
the only World of Warcraft I played was not World of Warcraft, but Hearthstone.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh.
like the Blizzard. I don't know. Do they go by Blizzard? Is that what they?
Yeah,
go
it's
by?
still it was
Yeah.
Blizzard.
Yeah, it's
that's
Blizzard.
the company before.
For reference, like I'm not like a super knledge in gaming, so I really try
She's
my
not a
best.
gamer
So
girl.
I
is what she's trying to
apologize.
say.
I mean, I don't want to try to be like a gamer girl. Like I try to educate myself in it, but I'm not like
So more of a high society type of person, aren't you?
Listen, I want
Perhaps.
to be aware of the gaming culture, but I don't want to be
Yeah.
a gaming thought.
Yeah, but
That's
like if
basically
I
it,
say something wrong, feel free to correct me. I'm learning.
No, let her make her mistakes and never tell
Yeah,
her
no,
about them.
let her
so
make
she
her
doesn't look
mistakes.
stupid.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
I
all.
just don't want
mention
anyone
it at
coming
all.
after me.
Yeah, we're
Well-
coming after you.
Yeah. Well, You have us.
Yeah, I'm really gonna
Survive.
support you.
Survive.
I'm just
Survive.
gonna be the, I'm gonna
Survive.
be the one that's like
Current
against.
objective.
Ah!
Yeah,
Nice split, by the way.
Shut
Nice,
the
thank you.
fuck up. What are you doing? Are you dead? Oh, you're dead? Shut the fuck up. Oh, you're not
I,
dead.
just, I just died.
Oh.
Oh no!
Um,
oh
Dr.
no!
Tuesday's walking my
Fuck!
basement.
Oh
See,
no!
But since we were on the topic of growing up, like I know personally, me growing up, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and
Ooh, yeah.
Assassin's Creed were
Oh
the
my
games.
God,
Like,
I
those
think-
were my games. But
I
I know everybody's different because I know some people that were like World of Warcraft or Dota. Obviously, bringing that back up again.
Right.
Some people were into card games, which I was. I was a huge Magic the Gathering nerd, and I was so much of a nerd that I spent thousands of dollars and made thousands of dollars. I was like,
Whew.
Still
yes.
Oh, did you actually sell the cards?
I used to, yes. It was a Boy Scout thing. I used to work as a
Did you
camp
get a Boy
counselor.
Scout badge for selling cards?
No,
By
I
the
started as
way,
a camp
Alex-
counselor, and everybody would. We've fucking diverged from video
gives a
games.
shit?
I don't know.
It doesn't
Sorry,
matter. This is
but-
how a natural podcast goes, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, don't break the third wall, fourth wall, whatever. You know what?
This is gonna be edited down to the point. Only the full thing
Well,
we'll see.
No,
Only the
yeah.
full
Oh,
thing
yeah,
you'll
only,
get to see
only
this.
the full. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll see the full. I'm joking. You'll see it regardless. But, yeah, Magic the Gathering was a huge game. I don't know if we just live in a bygone era of people that played card games and now we're seen as weird, now old people, even though I'm pretty young still, by all accounts.
Oh,
But yeah, I used
are
to
we
sell them
technically old yet?
fucking hardcore.
Every so often, I do honestly have to say I feel like a fucking boomer, and I'm only 22.
I feel like that commercial with the
I hate it.
turning into your dad or something, turning into your parents. The like,
Oh, yeah.
live, love, laugh, home.
What?
I sit down and I go.
You mean love, laugh, and
"Ah,
live or something?
Live,
I
love,
don't
It's
know.
a
laugh,
joke.
Live,
Live, love, laugh,
love.
home.
Yeah.
Murder, homicide is the key to a happy family.
Okay, guys.
is?
No, it's not. Alex is just fucked up. We can all agree on that.
I don't know about that.
Oh,
No.
so I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
yes.
are.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
how am I wrong?
I don't
You,
know.
have you ever thought that
I-
maybe your opinion is so below everyone else's that it shouldn't?
Wow, Kyle.
And we're
Wow.
immediately gonna be
Honestly-
coined as
Honestly-
sexist.
Honestly,
Dude, this is our first podcast, and you're already coming after me. I don't like this.
What? God
I'm,
fucking damn you, Alex.
I'm gonna be
Alright, all you in
real,
the podcast,
boys.
in the
I,
Audio.
everybody in the
I-
audience just personally attack Kyle.
Yeah.
I
His-
really
his
thought we
address
were
will
gonna
be
start
nowhere
being
in the
hyper
description.
misogynistic with
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Sorry. Yeah, no, so you're out. Cancelled. No, but
Yeah,
no,
we're
Oh,
not
cancel
sexist.
culture.
We're not
You're-
sexist.
Yet.
Yeah,
Not
don't
sexist.
worry,
You're-
guys.
Can I
Yeah.
get the,
You're
can I
really-
get the or did I fucking meme in the chat?
Or did I?
Or did I?
We need a bumper sticker called "We Love Women" just to satisfy all the
I'll get a
women
bumper
out
sticker
there.
of your face.
Yeah,
Katya,
just to satisfy all
No.
for your
Well,
car.
No.
Oh, should I spoil the beans? So Katya got a new car.
Yeah, I got a
and
new
it's
car.
red. And the joke is, as a child, she looked like the Beef Baby meme.
Yeah,
So
I
I
was
called
a
it her
chubby
Beef
baby.
Mobile.
I love
Um,
it.
And I just want to get a sticker that says Beef Mobile.
Oh,
You know
her.
what? I think we
Nice.
might invest it. I don't know. I'm still like
I'll
on the
do it.
fence on it. But the
Okay,
thing is,
okay.
it's like, I don't-
Subscribe down to Patreon. No.
on my personal I don't know, preference, I do not like bumper sticker on cars. That's just me. I feel like it's too tacky, and I just, I don't feel like there's a
Tacky.
reason to have.
I
like,
saw one that
bumper
was
sticker.
called bumpers. I saw a bumper sticker that was I have a baby on board, but it's not mine.
Oh
Oh,
my
yes,
God.
I see that.
I said it's
My
basically
favorite,
I survived.
Yeah, how did you?
Excuse me, sorry.
How
my
about those
favorite
video
bumper
games?
sticker.
Yeah, video games, guys.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
So,
yes.
let me explain this to everybody real quick. So if we're going off in tangents, that's the point. We're just gonna snip them all into small clips so you can, like your favorite episodes. So one will just be called bumper stickers. It'll be a 45-second video of us talking about bumper stickers,
Yeah.
and we're gonna cut it and just
No,
have fun.
it's
But you
not
can
gonna be
always
45
watch.
seconds. It's gonna be
No, yeah.
10 minutes because sooner rather than later we're gonna come back to that point.
Yeah, it's
We're not
it's
doing
probably
that. But
if you're gonna notice that it
What?
just cuts all of a sudden. It's like 1 minute, it's like we've finished the conversation, and it's
yeah,
like
we're gonna do like the 7 minutes of black screen. But no, yeah. So we're gonna split it into like small little snippet conversations, but then we'll have the entire podcast posted if you want to listen to everything.
Yep.
So,
Once all
we'll
the
make it
snippets
small
are
little-
finished.
Yeah, small little bite-sized things, so it's a little bit more consumable if you're like, I got like 5 minutes on my hands right now. Let me just watch this. or you can watch a couple little videos, or like what Mike just said, once everything is all snippets sent out and posted, we will
Mhm.
post the entire thing as like the full uncut version.
Yeah.
And we'll make this very easy to navigate, but sorry, PSA is over. Continue the bullshittery.
I
Wait,
was gonna,
I'm not,
I was
we're
gonna
not
add a
Soviet
little bit.
Womble, sorry.
I was gonna add a little bit more, but never mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the way it's
You're
gonna
so
work pretty
retarded.
much. Well, so are you, but anyway. Basically
No,
the way
not you, dipshit.
I was I
You,
was talking
dipshit.
to you. It doesn't matter regardless.
The
Anyway.
hell?
All right,
Um,
nice, cool.
Anyway, way we're gonna run this is
Anyway,
we're gonna submit all these small bits first, and then once all the small bits are finished for that single podcast, we're gonna release the full episode, and it's pretty much gonna be uncut for the most part, unless there's some sensitive information about us that we do not wish to disclose, anything like that.
Damn, this sounds like straight up.
So yeah, like
shit
my
right
social
now.
security number is no.
562
Alex.
248.
Okay, well, let's get back to the
Can
topic.
you read me the
so
last
my
three of your
biggest...
credit card?
Okay, so my biggest question for you guys is,
Who's you guys?
what did you? Well, let me reiterate this.
A
What
Renerate?
kind of
Yes,
games?
renerate.
Stop. Okay. So my question is to
Fucking,
you
I
guys.
renovate all the time.
Continue, please.
Shut up. So my question is for the 5th time. What kind of games? Like, what game got you guys into gaming? Let's put it
Halo.
that way.
What?
Halo.
Wait,
Uh,
what was the question?
What's the game that
what-
got you into games?
Yeah.
Call of Duty that was on the old chocolate Motorola phones.
Wow. Okay.
So it was actually Halo.
No, that's a
I
joke,
was
that's a joke.
playing fucking Halo on my cube. Fucking Alex
Mhm.
probably remembers where my cube was.
Yes, I do.
And I was like fucking 7 or something, and I was playing Halo,
Right.
and I had a large range of like Call of Duty Big Red One, and fucking Halo Wars, and I didn't have Dynasty Warriors at the time.
No,
But
that became a big staple of us. Do you remember
Yeah.
your Tron game?
oh my god, dude, that was good though. Tron was good.
It was good, except for the times you would fall asleep when me and Chandler were playing it.
Shh, fuck you, mate. Anyway,
Then we would
But,
stick runts in your mouth.
fucking.
That's not a sexual thing. We stick the candy runts in his mouth when he fell asleep.
Wow.
What?
Could make it sexual.
We stuck the bananas in his mouth.
Okay,
I don't
this
like
is
where this
going
is
in a really
going.
weird direction.
But
I don't
no,
know
no,
how I
no,
should
no,
feel
I
about this.
started
I stuck on my
playing-
banana.
Do you have anything
was-
else you would like to share with the
Sorry,
I-
Kyle,
audience?
Kyle,
So I
continue
had-
about your childhood creation.
Yeah, I had almost every like young childhood's dream console set up.
Oh,
It was
damn.
crazy. I had like PS1, 2, 3. I had the Xbox 360, the original Xbox. I had the GameCube. I had a PS Portable. I had a PSP. I did not have
Oh,
a Nintendo.
dude, those things were fucking terrible.
Ugh, dude, they were the worst and best moments of my life. I forget the game I
Mhm.
played on it, but I had so many small
Rainbow
games
Six.
that I remember playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all the fucking time.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wow.
But like
played that on the
Halo,
Cube, man.
Call of Duty, Halo Wars, shit like that.
Mhm. Well, the
Uh,
games that what got me into this was World of Warcraft and Skyrim, like back to back. World of Warcraft was probably the first game, and like I think that what kind of started like me like building interest in RPG and like not like medieval time because I can't really say that, but like more of a fantasy kind of games. I think those are very intriguing for me. So that are the two main games that I love. Like I still love Skyrim. I'm always gonna play it. I actually plan on playing eventually when things start to calm down. Future, what kind of games I do want to play? I want to try Cyberpunk, but at the same time, it's like I'm still hearing mixed feelings about that.
I'd honestly
That's
wait.
old.
Wyatt, you'd say honestly wait for fucking wait for it to like.
But it has
they
John
start-
Wick.
I'm
Guy-
trying to get this. I'm trying to get the Series X, and once I get the Series X and I get Cyberpunk on that, Katsu, you can play it. So.
Okay, yeah. I think that I don't know. It's just like I've always
Personally,
liked.
I was okay with it, but I wasn't hyped for it for like 12 decades.
mhm.
And I thought it was pretty aight for what it was.
Oh yeah, when,
I-
how long
I
has been-
thought-
or
I
how
got
long
more
was that
interested in the
advertised?
story of that game than I got into any other story.
Wake up, samurai!
Not even
Wake
that.
the
Just like
fuck
the
up,
side characters
samurai.
and shit. I fucking love the side
Mhm.
characters.
How
I just love.
Oh, the
long
side
ago was
characters
that
were really
advertised?
good.
I
What?
mean,
How long was that advertised
Uh,
for?
Not long, I don't think.
What?
No,
I
like
don't
how
think
long
it
was
was that long ago.
Cyberpunk advertised for? Like prior
Quite a
release.
while.
It's
Oh, no,
been
no, no, quite a while.
advertised for like 10 years.
Yeah.
If you
Really?
know what you're talking
Wait,
about.
10 years? I thought
Yes,
it was
indeed.
like 5 years. I mean,
What?
at least for me, like
No.
Cyberpunk.
It had a trailer that came out in like fucking What
We
was
gotta
it?
cross check this.
What do you mean? I'm telling the truth. I've never not told the truth. Anyway.
You full of shit.
I don't know about that.
No.
Do you
So
say the truth
it
and
came
like
out like a
truth?
trailer came back out in like 2012. I think I remember seeing it back then. I was like, what the fuck is this? My young
I
brain
think
couldn't
I remember
understand.
seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know exactly the fucking scene where the girl is like sitting on the floor with the mantis blades out.
Yep. Yep.
Fucking the
brings me back to
fucking
Jarius
cyber
of all.
psycho Jesus shooting him. But it's been out for a while, gotcha. The
Oh,
trailers of
okay.
this, Yeah.
I mean, I only saw it like 5 years ago, so maybe I'm just like living under the rock as per usual. That's what you guys are
Probably.
gonna know me for. Like, I just don't have any pop culture reference. I don't have any idea of pop culture.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
you're
just
gonna know,
like-
Katya, for.
Polk?
Yeah.
What is polk culture?
Yeah, I was thinking the same
I
thing. I was like, I
I
didn't want
meant
to bring it
pop
up, but I was
culture.
like,
I'm sorry.
Polka,
So another thing you guys are
Pennsylvania
gonna know
polka.
about me is that I mispronounce everything, and I
That's
tend to like mix up words. So
right.
just
You are
understand
the
me. Like I
go-to
try.
For mixing up words. That is correct.
Yeah.
I'm not me.
So, I'm still planning to get tested. Well, not tested. I'm gonna actually go see someone to see if I'm actually dyslexic because there's probably a chance.
Oh wait,
I
I'm
might be.
alive.
What?
Not
Not
anymore.
anymore. Yeah, sorry, I took that away from you.
So,
But so that was Katya. Wyatt.
Saying that she has plenty of issues. So,
Yeah, Katya's
Wow,
also
okay.
Katya, you're dyslexic, so
but let's move
yeah.
on. Mike,
Well-
what about you?
well-
What are some games that got you
Yeah.
into gaming?
I don't even know anymore, to be honest, which it's been like,
yeah, he plays
Car
too much
Mechanic
games.
Simulator 1990.
hey, listen, it's an addiction now, but I'm getting better.
Balloons 1. That was
Balloons.
fucking-
Yeah,
that a
it
thing?
wasn't
No.
even called Balloons 1, it's
Oh.
just Balloons Defense.
TD. Oh,
think it
The
was called
flash
Balloons.
game of it. No, the flash game of it. But it was just called balloons. Just
Yeah.
straight balloons.
Oh my god. I don't know, I've been gaming since I was like 3 years old, so it's kind of hard to tell
I-
what even got me into games
I
anymore.
am blocked. Wait, how?
Wait, how-
Alex, I don't
how are you
see
still alive?
So how are you alive?
because I'm alive. I'm God, dude. Remember?
Yeah,
Jesus'
Alex is
child.
just magically good at anything. That's his motto in life.
Until the entire map just freaks out.
He
Sorry,
freaks out
sorry for
in
interrupting Mike, everybody.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
Mike.
the one time I
continue.
actually start speaking, everybody's like,
That's the whole point of podcast. You got to get used to it.
That's the whole
Yeah.
point of us.
Okay.
that's what I had to realize with you guys. Is like,
Yeah.
With you
speak over
guys.
you.
Yeah.
Everybody will learn what GISA means eventually.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
if you just look in the about section and you'll see exactly what it means there.
No,
Yeah.
don't look in the about section. Learning is an
No.
experience.
Don't.
Everything's
no.
about the journey. It doesn't matter about the fucking end. It's about what you learn along the way.
Mhm.
All right, and Kyle has given us his little philosophy.
Uh,
Do you want to give people their standard fucking everyday English section? Is that what you want to give people?
Yes. So, welcome to English 101 with Kyle. He's going to tell you exactly how not to speak English.
He's literally the definition of grammar Nazi. I
No,
guess
I'm-
we can all
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, you
no,
are.
I'm not. I've
That-
never.
Yes,
that's
you
a
are.
college humor skit. You can't steal that. That's copyright. Nah, I don't fucking know.
Where did you even get that from?
what?
Okay, never mind. Okay, Michael, so tell us, please. Or you don't,
don't
know.
thi-
I literally
don't
just
think
don't know.
Oh,
I've
okay.
been playing games since I was like 2 years old, 3 years old.
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
yeah, I used to play on the Windows XP. That's about how old I've been playing games, and
Sheesh.
yeah,
You're just ancient.
I am very ancient. I'm a very old man. Why am I here? Where am I?
You're nowhere.
What's going
Okay,
on?
everyone, Michael's having his existential crisis.
He's at his
He-
geriatrics home.
Excuse you. He's
You're
he's going
excused.
through senility. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I could talk about where I started playing video games. So I have an older brother who's 9 years older than I.
Brothers.
Why is everybody around me? But he was born in the beginning of the 90s, so I had everything growing up as the 90s. I was also a 90s kid, but he used to play all of the old PS1
No,
games,
you're
like
gonna wanna jump
Twisted
that.
Metal,
Oh
old
my God.
Banjo Kazooies. I actually used to be fucking terrified of Twisted Metal, but it was also because I was terrified of It because I got scarred as a child of the old It movies because we were really fucking poor. Yeah, we were really fucking
John.
poor. So we had Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, which is my two favorite movie
Lord
series.
of the Rings is the shit.
Oh my god, I
nobody
fucking
asked
remember
you.
the games.
No, I'm joking.
Lord of the Ring games.
Another
Yeah, there was
conversation
an
I
old Lord
can't
of the
join
Ring
in
games
on.
on one of the old PlayStations. I can't remember the name of.
Oh
but
my
it was,
gosh, yes. I
It was like
forgot.
you click on a circle and you would do like these different things.
I remember
There's also
doing
the old
like
text to
giant
speech one.
battles.
Yes. Well, that was the we used to play that all the time too. When we would stay over each other's houses. Can't remember which that one was, but that was so much fun.
Mhm.
But yeah, I started with, like I said earlier, Fallout was a huge thing in my life. I love the Fallout series and I love the Elder Scrolls, Morrowind, Arena, Oblivion, everything. I could play it all. And then Assassin's Creed was another big one that I just fucking loved, mainly because I'm Italian. So maybe that's a big reason why I was just like, oh, he's speaking Italian like I do. And
Oh
then,
yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 is really good in my opinion. I
yeah,
actually
Ezio
love
Auditore.
Assassin's Creed 2 is probably my favorite out
Mm.
of all the Assassin's Creeds.
Yeah, the
But,
two series was
it's-
great, but I love
Yeah.
one with Altair. That's
I
too
didn't
good.
like that one.
didn't
Maybe I
like
should
him?
probably replay it. Maybe
Oh
I'll
my
like
god,
it again.
my fucking mouse.
Well,
Thanks,
I mean,
Becca.
if you think about Assassin's Creed, that was like for me as a kid, I was like, man, these are like taking place in two of the biggest things that I am. Like I'm Middle Eastern and I'm Italian, so I was like, oh, there's some people that are Middle Eastern in there, there's some people that are Italian, so like I resonated with it because I think at the time that I started playing, I still didn't speak English, so
Mhm.
it was still at the time where everything was still in Italian for me. I was learning English, so it actually helped me because they would switch back and forth between English and Italian, though the dialect they spoke was very different from what I know. Because my family comes from a really fucking small town in
Mhm.
Italy, which had a really weird dialect that was mixed. But anyways, yeah.
Palace.
What?
Sorry, I probably just insulted your entire family. We're gonna move on.
Oh
What
my
I-
god.
No, we're
No,
not.
no,
gonna
no,
move
wait,
on.
what did
Wait
you
a
say?
minute. What did you say?
I said Napales.
What
I
is
don't know
that?
why.
Naples.
I don't know. It just
Naples.
popped.
She tried to
God.
say Naples.
We're not even. I mean, yeah, we're from the Naples region, but we're
Good
from a small
Lord,
town
Katya.
east of Naples,
Oh shit!
and then south of Rome.
How is she
Anyways,
still alive?
we're not talking about my heritage and ethnicity here.
Okay,
Thought we
my
were.
apologies.
But yeah, that was the games that got me into it.
Hmm How about you,
Interesting.
John?
What?
World of Tanks.
Games?
Oh,
Since
you-
it's
What was
Not
the
even
first
listening.
game that got you into gaming? That was like my question.
Let me see. So, what was it?
Alright,
No, I
we're
think
done.
the first like game I really played, I think, was on the GameCube. It was
Oh, I
the
love the GameCube.
Spider-Man 2. That's why I could remember.
Oh, dude, that game was so much fun.
Right? Right?
Climbing up the big buildings, and there's like the challenges of how quickly you can get up them.
Heck yeah! And then
Fuck.
And I s-
Spider-Man.
and then like how I acquired most of the games I played was of
Mhm.
course no one would really know. Well, younger kids they don't know Blockbuster. Get renting all
Oh,
the games.
Blockbuster.
Oh,
Yo,
man.
holy
Shit, man.
fuck.
We had a ton where we lived. We had absolute fucking ton. There was 3, I think we had.
No.
At least when I moved down to where I'm not gonna say where
Yeah.
we live, but
I
Yeah.
think the only place I can remember was the one
in the
the one-
plaza, the mall plaza.
yeah, the one that got transformed into iPlace.
Huh.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the same place for the
yeah.
no, yeah, part of it became the iPlace, part of it became the Starbucks, right?
No,
Or was it
Mm.
Starbucks?
I thought it was always one thing.
Alright, that's enough of that.
Enough of what? Yep. What? Yeah. hmm
But yeah, dude, fucking GameCube. GameCube was the shit, man.
Yo,
Bro, GameCube
fucking
was
so
fun.
many good memories.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was on there.
Fucking-
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man as well. Alright, fuck you.
Yeah. Then what was it then? I think my first like online game
Did
really
we
was.
play fucking Dynasty Warriors on that or
Yes, we did.
nice?
Really old Dynasty Warriors. Still, they don't have multiplayer.
Fuck you guys. Honestly.
God.
But fucking so that's John Wyatt.
So
Oh.
my very first introduction to video games, ironically enough, was arcade games, and then past that, I don't remember how old I was. I want to say I was like 6 or 7 though.
Oh, then I should
Because
have probably said arcade games because we had a Dave and Buster's.
But the thing that
Oh,
really
yeah.
got me into like console games was I don't know where the fuck he got it, but my dad brought up for one Christmas, like just out of the fucking blue, because I was before I even knew like game consoles were really a thing. Aside from like, a couple friends who talked about it, he brought this like new Atari console up that had everything already programmed on it. So I played through like every Atari game known to man, essentially.
You play through every Atari
Every
game?
Atari?
Yeah, it was an actual like it had controllers that were like the old Atari ones. It was a big joystick and a red button, and it had like everything on it. And specifically, what I remember is like this tank shooter game that got just fucking otherworldly hard once you got past a certain point. But I put so many hours into that thing, it actually died, and I don't actually know where the fuck it went.
That reminds me of the old Power Rangers game on the Sega.
Oh
yeah.
And Primal Rage. Ooh.
What about other games that were really good?
Nice
What
job,
about
Alex.
Legend of Zelda?
That was
I
when the
actually-
first DS came out.
Yeah,
You know, when the
I
first
played
Nintendo
that.
DS, I bought the Legends of Zelda Triforce Edition. So it was the first ever Nintendo DS after the colors and stuff like that. And holy fuck, it was such a nice DS. Had the Triforce. It was gold backed.
Oh
I wasn't
yeah.
a huge Zelda guy. I played Mario and shit like that, but I was never like uber into it like a lot of people are today. Like, oh man, I must play the Super Mario Painter and like
Yeah.
I'm into the classic shit like that stuff.
Yeah, I'm the
Mhm.
very like rare type that just I have never played Zelda, so I can't
You're the
contribute to
very
that.
What
rare
about
type that
Pokemon?
Okay,
Oh
I'll
yeah.
play
DS game.
I played Pokemon.
Oh, I
Yeah.
played that religiously. Like
I
I would
still
have my
play it.
DS and I would take it like on flights, because flights are like fucking long and all that. Oh my god, I really like the diamond version. I don't know.
Which
like, I'd
one?
probably-
Diamond? Did you say Diamond? Yeah, I
Yeah.
played that. Diamond was
Oh,
fun.
that was great.
I didn't play
I'm
Diamond,
still
but
a
I played
Pokemon.
Gold.
Dialga is like the most coolest looking Pokemon in my opinion.
Dialga's
So I
pretty
used to-
good looking.
What?
He's pretty cool.
So
Yeah.
I used to play them all on the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advanced. So like the old, like the single screen in your hands looked like a fucking Nokia. I used to play them all with that, with the big cartridges. Red, blue, emerald, ruby, sapphire, whatever the fuck they were called. I can't remember now. But then when the DS came out, that's when I got like Diamond and Pearl, and that's when I stopped.
I had the Mario Edition DS. Not like an edition, but it was like a Mario themed DS.
Yeah, that's
It was-
the edition. Yeah, that's like.
Oh,
their
is it
little
edition?
bundles.
I wasn't too sure. My brother got it for me. Like my brother was just I mean, he is like awesome. Like
He was.
helped. Yeah,
He's
he's
dead
alive,
now.
everyone.
Yeah,
Don't
he's
worry,
dead
he's
now.
alive.
No,
Sorry.
He's uber dead now.
Yo, he gone.
Gosh,
No,
but,
God, you
like,
just
My
condemned
brother
him
and
to
I,
death.
like, our relationship is fantastic. Like he's
Okay,
also a
sit
reason.
down.
Is it now?
What?
What?
Excuse me? No. So like he
I'm going to hear that.
I know. Come on. Seriously.
Ah.
Like we're buddies. We're best friends. But like he's like the reason
Okay,
why I
step
got
bro.
into video games. And he also bought me the DS and like some games for it. Like yeah, so thanks to my brother for, getting me into video gaming.
Yeah.
Alright,
um,
sorry for getting off topic.
I remember I got the
That's
DS
the whole
just
point.
because of Pokemon.
We're called Rambology by
Okay,
GISA.
I don't
'cause
even know if
there's
there's gonna
apparently
be
a-
spare parts. I don't think there's gonna be enough spare parts to make any spare parts. To be honest with you, it's like
There's
we
gonna be
go-
too many.
Oh god, it'll be like 2-second videos.
I mean, we don't have to do it into that severe or like individual topics. It could be like,
Oh no, I know what you mean.
yeah, you're the editor. You make the choices. We're
Okay,
just
So
here
far,
as your.
we are doing
com-
great.
I mean, this is what I expected when I signed up for this.
You didn't sign up for this. You were forced.
Yeah,
This
we
isn't a
held you by
democracy.
gunpoint.
What the fuck you think this is? This is
Yeah.
a dictatorship.
I tend to forget that as well.
I think we can all agree
Right.
that Alex is the true dictator.
I don't know. I'm kind of a co-dictator with Kyle. That's him and I.
Ah, I'm dead.
Although we've
Okay.
all kind of taken a dictator role. The only person that's not allowed to be a dictator is Katya. Sorry, we're not sexist. Just
I see how it is.
like I said earlier, she is the beef baby.
Okay, we don't need to be disclosing this. Wow.
We already talked about it.
We
Thanks.
mentioned this before already.
Yeah.
I know. This is just all on me. I allowed this to happen. Now everyone's gonna remember me as the beef baby. And...
You are. We're
Yeah,
gonna
well,
make
as I
this
say,
into-
you are the beef baby.
Oh God, stop it!
There is no longer.
Whenever you hear Conti's voice, just imagine the beef baby going.
We're gonna change your profile picture to that.
No, we are not. I like my Soviet cat. I gotta keep my Soviet propaganda at its A
Kermit.
game.
Oh, don't worry. I
And
can do
And
that in
guys,
post. Don't worry, I can do
for
it in
another
post.
reference, I'm not actually a communist. I just like to joke about it.
Communism
Uh,
is a vital part of our community.
Okay, we're not
Don't
into
do it.
that part of the
yes,
topics
can
yet.
we- hey,
We're not
Sorry.
into that part.
Sorry,
not?
sorry. I just
Let's
don't want to
actually
be
switch topics right now.
No,
Okay.
no.
No, not to that, but we'll fucking.
I'm just saying, you know, if people really think I am, I'm actually not. I'm very. Okay.
Katya,
Cancel
I
culture,
doubt
Katya,
it.
people like communism nowadays.
I know. Well, let's not get into that, but I just, you know, had to make a full disclosure.
Even though I don't like communism. I'm not allowed to like communism. Let's say it that way.
You
Duh.
shouldn't like.
Yeah, that's right. You can't.
I can't have opinions. I'm not allowed.
Is that his
Yeah, you're
yard?
allowed to have
That's
a
his-
podcast.
Well,
is
you
that
know what?
his
You
yard?
signed up for that
Well,
shit, so.
I mean, they take away. I mean, it's at least one freedom I can have, right?
No.
Let him up.
Okay. You both just
Nay.
fucked yourselves. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, any other game? Oh, we were talking about Halo Infinite. I know this
I-
is so far away, but I know Kyle, you and I had a pretty lengthy conversation about this one day. We were talking about the new Elder Scrolls, Hammerfall.
Ooh.
I am
Yes.
personally really excited.
Apparently,
I
people are
am
saying it's Iliac Bay now.
Well, it's the so
Oh.
the entire thing.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. I think that's even better, having a whole bunch and then maybe I would love to see them expand into this. Literally, just let's just make it the entire continent at this point.
They're never gonna
Well,
do that.
hopefully-
It's too much for one thing when they're trying to
Yeah.
make the entire thing better.
Maybe now, but in the future it could be possible. But one thing I want to see, so one era when I forget the Dwarven Lord's name, the guy who actually threw Volendrung into what is now called Hammerfall. That guy.
yeah.
I want it to be in that timeline, like during the Nord and the Akaviri invasion and that kind of shit. I think that would be cool because we don't get to see much of Akaviri, even though Todd Howard's like, that's on purpose. We don't want to make it a thing. Even
On
though we've seen
purpose.
some of the enemies that were from Akavir, specifically in Morrowind, I think we see them. They're in Solstheim. I can't remember their names right now, but they had an interesting name. But I really hope, and I know a lot of people keep shitting on Todd Howard and stuff like that. It's like, oh, their games are broken. It's not the original Oblivion or Morrowind. But I like how they've been changing it, just like the Fallouts. I love New Vegas, but don't get me wrong. Fallout 4 has its own place in my heart, just like Skyrim has my own place in its heart compared to Oblivion. Does Oblivion questing seem a little bit better? Sure, maybe on some accounts. Or does Morrowind seem a little bit better on other accounts? Yes.
Mhm.
But if a game is always the same, then we're always left wondering if anything else could be. I think the fact that they do
I think I should just
try
never try
new
that.
things.
Fucking never even attempt to win that.
Woo!
So
But for me, I am more for. I don't know. I'm less for. What the fuck happened? How do I explain this?
By explaining it, I don't know.
here's
trying
10
to
here's
focus.
10
I'm
seconds
not
to
even
I
gonna
think
focus right now.
Kyle just lost his
So
train
no,
of
no, no,
thought.
no, no. So I'm more for. I don't believe that the developer can accomplish what they want to accomplish. I mean, I believe they're going to do an admirable job, but I feel like it's mostly always going to be left up to the consumers.
Mhm.
Because there'll be things the developer leaves out to make sacrifices, and I think the consumer will step in always, and so I'm more about modding.
I feel like a
That's
good
true.
example of
Well,
that.
that was the great thing about Skyrim is the accessibility of modding.
Yep, that's what I mean, and fucking, I'm afraid we're gonna lose that with the new one.
I don't think it's ever gonna
I
go
don't think they're
away.
gonna remove.
It's not
that
gonna go
because-
away, but the accessibility of the modding is
But-
going to go away.
Did
If
you
we-
guys-
if we withhold games to what the limitations are of other people's or consumer PCs,
It's just gonna be
then
less
we can
fun.
never advance. Yeah, we're always gonna be
Yeah.
stuck with the limitations of say
Wait,
like
no, I'm not
Skyrim
saying
and,
that.
you
I
know.
don't give a shit about that. No,
Okay.
I'm just saying, fucking. I feel like modding in that is not going to be as prevalent.
I
Well,
don't
And
we're
for
think
gonna
that,
have to
I
see
don't
when it
think it's
comes
gonna
out.
be. I don't think it's gonna be as influential, as fucking Skyrim. As
I
like
beg to differ, but
Go
I mean
ahead.
everybody said the same thing about Skyrim, kind of what you're saying now. That people were like skeptics, like it's not gonna live up to what Oblivion was. It's not gonna
What? No,
be.
I fully believe it'll be better than Skyrim. I don't think it'll be better than modded Skyrim though.
Mhm.
Well, you have to remember, modded Skyrim took almost 10 years to be what it is.
Right.
Because it didn't come out originally. Just same thing with Fallout 4. They started
Right.
doing it with Fallout 4 and Skyrim. The whole modding thing came out, but the
Right.
limitations were still there with the systems we had. Only being able to have so many gigabytes of mods and shit like that. But I think now with these new systems and the new capabilities of moddings that we're seeing, especially with like subpar games or like not subpar games, but like low end games like Mountain Blade Bannerlord, the
Right.
modding's beautiful.
Mhm.
The things that people can do in such a quick time now, this is unseen. So
Yeah, I think
I
you're right.
personally,
You know,
I
and then
mean,
the one thing we gotta
I don't think
appreciate
so.
about modding is that people utilize their creativity and they also like expand the horizon of the game itself. And I think that's
Absolutely.
such an amazing thing. And that's why I really love modding Skyrim because yeah, I finished everything with Skyrim, but I will never stop playing. And that's why mods is like my best friend.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm not dead.
All
I'm
right,
dead.
good to hear. He's dead. Or
Yeah.
not dead. Now he's dead.
yeah. But I think modding is just going to keep going up from here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I personally don't care for mods. Like,
I
I do know
disagree.
some of them
But that's it. Is what it is.
Yeah. No, it's each to their own. I don't care. Like, mods are cool and all, but it's like, I don't know. I just like the base game most of the time. Unless it's like it adds something like a new part of the game. I'm like, ooh, new pretty.
John,
things
I
could
fucking
touch.
thought you were dead. Fuck you. Jesus, sorry.
Good scrub.
We're playing Stick Fight for anybody who wants to know.
Yeah.
Yes, they're playing Stick Fight, and when me and Wyatt are just doing our own thing.
Why
So-
playing Borderlands? Because this man is a single player. Ha.
He's
an
playing
XCOM.
XCOM.
Oh, that's right. I have seen you fucking.
Speaking of mods.
What?
Oh God! New computer problems.
Did you make sure everything's plugged in right? Or you're like,
So
that seems like a just things are not connected right problem.
So does anyone have anything to say about fucking new AAA titles?
Not really.
So about
At least
about
for-
Anthem. No, sorry, I'm not gonna bring that topic. up.
Oh,
that
man.
makes people cry.
About Marvel's Avenger. God.
Okay.
That game was. Everybody was talking
Oh,
so
no.
great about it. I thought it was kind of stupid.
Oh,
I
you
think
got
they
to play it?
I played a little bit of it. I'm not gonna say I played it to like where I was like, oh, I have all the time in the world. I'm gonna take my time. I played it from a friend's, and I personally thought it was pretty stupid.
It was.
I was
at least
like,
in
yeah,
my
this
opinion,
is not the Marvel game I would imagine being able to. So I was always thinking, I was like, do you guys remember Marvel versus Capcom, or whatever it was? Not the fighting game, the one where you had like the free roam, where you could like go around as like the X-Men or like all these different guys. I can't remember what it was. Oh, Ultimate Alliance. And it was super cool because you get to play all these different characters and customize. It was kind of open world, but enough that you weren't getting, but not enough open world to the point where you were just literally getting lost and not being able to progress.
Yeah.
I was expecting something like that. I was like, oh, I could do what I want, play all these different characters, but then like, no, we're gonna limit you to like 6 Marvel characters.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they were subpar, shitty versions of these characters. Like,
Mhm.
it was really bad. I thought the story was stupid. Oh man, the Avengers. It's like the Avengers Civil War all over again, but even worse this time. And Tony Stark is a piece of shit. Captain America's dead. Or he wasn't dead, sorry.
He was presumed dead.
He was in a space
Hey,
station being
hey,
used
don't
for...
spoil. I haven't even watched it yet.
I haven't played it, and I just remember I
Oh
was,
shit! I thought we were talking about the movie. Never mind.
No,
No, it's the game.
Sorry,
the game.
sorry.
But even like Kamala, which Miss Marvel, she was really fucking boring to play.
I loved playing as her. What do you mean?
I was just like, oh man, another Miss Elastigirl, or it felt. I know it's from comics and shit, but it just was. They
I
didn't
didn't care for
execute
her
it right.
character, but I just like playing her. I didn't like. I
Mm.
didn't know any of the characters because I'm not a big Marvel fan. So I was like, I don't know who these people are. I don't know their stories.
You're not
So
a
I
big
was like,
Marvel fan because you didn't watch it. That's it.
yes.
True. I think that's another big thing. But
Oh,
yeah,
give me
I
a second. I
didn't-
need to fucking. I need to get myself tickets to go in the Green Knight.
Anyway, continuing my thought. I'd never
Why
really
is he
seen
green?
it, so I
'Cause
was
he's
like,
not
I was
of the
kind of like,
Sith.
ooh, just
Put the
cool
Earth is green.
characters and all that's fun thing. So I was kind of just looking at it as like a video game aspect of like who's the most like interesting in the sense of most fun to play, rather than ooh, who's my favorite character from the movies or whatever.
Even
then it's-
Hawkeye was stupid. I don't know if you saw that DLC.
I didn't even see that yet because I stopped playing it before they even came out with that.
Yeah.
Well, I can't really comment because I never played the game, so
Yeah.
I'm out of the
It's
discussion.
mediocre. It's
Just
a good
watch
gameplay
just watch a
standpoint.
walkthrough. Then you'll be up to speed.
Woo! Well then.
And the gameplay
Do you
standpoint,
guys
it's pretty
wanna?
mediocre.
Do you guys want to switch topic?
Yeah,
I mean, we
sure.
can, but yeah, I just feel disappointed in those games, like especially Disney shit nowadays. They just fucking
Nah, let's not even talk about that. Disney's just like, let's make everything kid friendly, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
exactly
like,
what it is.
I mean,
Disney
Star Wars is still
started-
pretty.
I mean, to be
I
fair,
mean, the
Disney
only-
started as like telling dark stories but in a lighthearted
Mhm.
way,
yeah.
and then
what
it
was
just
it,
became let's make princesses and pretty things that kids can
Mhm.
understand. And like, and I'm like, but that's.
I
not
mean,
I
really
the
mean,
it.
only-
they've been diversifying. So I don't think it's terrible. I love what they somewhat do because a lot of small companies who can't make shit now
Mhm.
can because they have the backing of a fucking giant.
Yeah,
But there's still a lot to be desired. It's
Yeah.
good when they let the creators of that said game or genre or like say Star Wars do what they see in their vision instead of Disney being like, well, we got to make this way and add these things. And people shit on the sequels, but let's not get into that because that's a whole other topic and conversation
Yeah.
for another time. But
Mhm.
I don't know.
But we
I-
can all agree on hopefully that Star Wars is like the most amazing, I don't know, franchise. I can say. In my opinion.
I've never seen Star
that
Wars.
and Lord of the Rings are equal to me. So
Yeah, he's never
Well,
seen Star Wars.
yeah. Okay, I guess Lord of the Ring is always going to be top tier.
Lord of the Rings. And
Okay, I
Hobbit
haven't
are-
seen the Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit.
Excuse me?
Oh my
I
god!
want
You
guys
are
to
now
know.
officially banned from our podcast now.
Let's just
I'm
Well
kick
then,
Katya
good
out
luck
of the
finding
server.
IT.
Yeah.
Ha! I have job security.
You know what?
Yeah,
I just
Michael has
want-
not seen any of the fucking any movie ever.
I haven't seen any movie ever. Yeah, it's
No,
the
I mean,
base of
what
it.
movies have you seen, Michael?
Yeah.
I could probably name them with my fingers. Let me see.
Please redeem yourself.
Cars 2, Cars 3.
I've
And
seen,
Cars
Up.
is good though.
Yeah, he in the third one he gets old.
oh my god! I only seen the first one. I didn't even care about the rest.
Okay, there we go. There's
Yeah.
one of the movies.
Yeah, there's one. Oh
And
my
then they
God.
did the movies about the planes, and I was like, okay, this is just getting too much. Yeah. Car 1, maybe like Car 3 was also pretty good. It's just.
Car 1, Car 2.
Yeah, and
4.
Car 3. I don't know. Like, I like Car
Car-
1 and Car
Cars-
3.
Cars fell into the Disney trap of just being a ton of sexual innuendos for
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah. I actually watched it pretty recently, a few days ago. It was a nice nostalgic trip.
Speaking of movies, actually, have any of you seen the Boss Baby thing, either the original or the sequel?
No,
No.
I saw the
I'm
original.
not.
I've
I-
heard of people hated the second one.
The boss is back, whatever it is.
Yeah. God, it's like that Netflix show that got taken down because of that, like a similar reason, where it was like the underage.
Well, that's because people give like so much of a. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but like fucking children are like a sacred part of our society. So
Absolutely.
when their lives are endangered, it fucking becomes a problem. So
Bro, I
Like,
wish it was
it's
Athens and we just
fucking-
threw our
it's-
kids off a mountain. I mean, Spartan, we just threw our kids off a mountain.
no, fucking like with in schools, like fucking whenever the school shootings happened, everyone fucking panicked, and we
Well-
went into fucking meltdown mode. You know?
Mhm.
We're also one of the few
I mean, for
countries
obvious
that
reasons,
publicizes
it's a good thing we did.
a lot of their shit.
Yeah, I know,
we
but
we love to infamize
but
people.
yeah, but they infamized them, and what happened is it led to other people doing that, and that's not what you want to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
people are like, oh, wow, this was a really weird turn from kids, but yeah, it's this thing is like we take these. I don't think it's wrong that we're saying, listen, this can't happen. Like we're talking about a tragedy here. It's good to remember those lives, but when you're talking more about the person who did it instead of the kids who lost their lives, or the
Mhm.
people that are not
it
here
just
anymore.
it takes away the victims, and like the victims is supposed to be the ones we need to talk about more than the person that instigated the violence. And like when we talk about more of the person that instigated the violence, it's kind of like other people that are watching it that has that intent, and like it can be very it can just be multiple reasons.
It puts
but,
them
like,
up on a
No.
pedestal, and
Yeah,
negative
exactly.
or not,
and then
it-
normalize it, like, oh yeah, I can do this too because then I will become famous. Like,
yeah,
there's those people
Our
out
country
there.
lives off of bad news. We have
Mhm.
this weird
Oh
desire
yeah.
to have something negative or something worse than what we are living through. I think that's
Mhm.
maybe part of it, that we want to see something or somebody's having a worse day than we are.
living
Mhm.
And it's-
vicariously.
Yeah, you put it perfectly, I think. And it's just
It's sad.
it's sad because I've known people that have suffered from these things, and we live in a
We live in a
out of this.
society.
oh! Please, Mike, clip that. No, I'm
God.
joking. Put the meme in. No, I'm joking. No more work for you.
But fucking,
I-
that was
I
my
have to
attempt to
say-
steer us more towards school and the education system.
Yeah, so
We have a series of things we want to try to talk about, and I'm trying to steer us along, and it's not working exactly how I thought
we've
it
only
would
been
be.
talking for an hour. It's not like
An
we've
only
been
an
blabbering
hour.
on.
Okay,
Oh,
Kyle, the
shit.
moderator.
Fucking.
Yeah,
So anyway,
as Kyle was
masturbating in
mentioning,
diapers.
yeah. You're all good.
Sorry. That
But-
stuff always like rubbed me the wrong way. It's so gross that there's people out there that does these things, and it's
There's
just
some
like,
weird fetishes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I feel like,
do you remember? You know,
yeah, I do.
one of our friends, his ex, used to be really into like that baby shit, and it was gross.
Oh
I mean-
yes. I
Because
don't
one
know.
day we saw like a picture, or we shouldn't have saw, and just, like, I hate this. I'm so sorry you guys had to see this.
Can we
Yeah.
actually cut out his name whenever we do this?
Yes.
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
don't
we
worry,
can,
I'm
but
gonna be editing
There's
this
a I
heavily.
have a bajillion
Apparently.
friends named though.
Still,
So-
we should probably cut it out.
Yeah. I will be. Yeah,
So,
we'll
Joe-
figure things out.
That's his name. Nah, that's not a real person.
Don't worry.
Well,
we can...
Let's just still not do that because that's still also very personal to him, and like I don't
Not
think.
really. He can give a shit less about her,
But what about the ex? That's another thing.
she's an ass.
Well,
Okay,
also at
it's,
the
it's
same
important
She's a-
to
She's
Alex.
a cheating person.
Okay,
it's
but-
important
okay,
to
We
have.
didn't say her name. We didn't say
We're
her
we're,
name.
we're we're gonna actually cut this whole thing
No.
Yes.
out. Yeah,
It's important
we
to
didn't-
have standards, even though the standards it didn't really hit, or it's not important.
didn't
It's
say her
important
name.
it's important to cut off where we
Mhm.
think the standards are.
Yeah, we didn't say
Yeah.
her name. So why are we
Still,
cutting her
though,
name? Her name isn't there.
We're not. It's not about the name, G.
It's very personal, and I don't know. That's just how I see it.
It's only personal if you mention the name.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Don't worry. I'll be
Yeah.
going through this and
Yeah,
trying to
you
decide
do
myself.
something
I
about that,
do-
Okay.
There's
Alright,
there's
well.
also gonna be other things taken out, like locations, and I know we talked about locations earlier. I'm like, yeah, we don't want
We didn't
to.
talk about locations. We didn't
no,
say
you're
any.
not talking about locations.
We didn't say any locations.
We're talking about like a Lowe's or something, and then like
Yeah,
something.
but we didn't
that's
say like we didn't say where.
I know, but
There's
you can,
Lowe's everywhere.
There is like there's people that will try to go out and be like Google Maps, like, oh, I think I know where he's at. I think I
Okay,
found the
I mean,
area.
A
I
Lowe's
just-
by. That's not specific.
it's good enough that there is people that can use that information to go out and find other people.
Where it'll be looked at.
I
And
think
Yeah,
if
that's
it's,
what I'm
if
saying.
it
It'll be looked
endangers,
at, and if anything,
Because
I'd rather
none
have
of us
it be-
actually live there. That's another
I'm
thing.
in
None of us live in
danger.
that area.
Yeah.
They will just think,
That's-
okay, that's where the store they go to, and then they will be waiting. For
Yeah,
us.
because like if I go to a store 6 hours away, it's not like a.
Okay, whatever.
Just for
Okay,
security
whatever.
still.
Let's move on.
You're getting too caught up in the small parts, Alex.
We can discuss.
How am I
this
getting caught up
later.
in the small parts? We're talking
Ooh.
about cutting out lows, and
Yeah, that's small shit. Don't worry about it.
yeah, why would we cut that out?
Woo!
That's
No,
such
don't worry
a-
about it, mate. It doesn't affect you. Alright, fucking, we are gonna switch. Fucking school, the education system. How would you like to be taught to, fucking suck at life?
Second Life.
Okay, that's a terrible move into this next education system. So really, what the
No
topic
one
was
was moving in.
Sorry, I got so lost.
What is, you know, I think a lot of us have been through the school system. Obviously, we're not
Oh yeah.
idiots. You know, I'm not saying that. You know, we've been through general education.
Mhm.
Some of us have been through
Mm.
college. Other us through other forms of
I just
education.
graduated.
Nobody cares.
Wow. Okay.
No one cares.
Congratulations.
That's
Just
fine. No, it's
graduated?
fine. It's fine. Yeah, I just graduated.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, moving
But
forward.
the key to I think what a lot of us think is the education system here sucks. It
Oh.
really fucking sucks. At least in my
Yes.
opinion.
I
Yes,
can
make
ex-
sure
I can
you
second
specify
that.
in your opinion.
In my opinion, the education system here in the United States is pretty dog awful. I've done some papers on it in college.
Mhm.
I am in college, as I talked about earlier. I was doing my master's and stuff. And I hate to say this, I really haven't learned anything. I've just kind of recited basic knowledge over and over again with different words and meanings. And I really think we need some sort of reform. Now, I don't think any country is better than us. I mean, obviously there's rankings and stuff, but I don't think there's any specific country that has a specific method that is best for what we have in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
There is something I did see a while ago when I was doing my research paper on the education systems, and it was talking about a sort of personalized method and approach to education. I guess similar to what some Chinese countries do, where at an earlier age you kind of pick a path, a broad path, and you get a little bit more specialized education, a
It's
little bit more one-on-one education.
so
in that
actually
regards.
most Chinese schools.
Not Chinese, I said Asian, but
Okay. Well, fuck.
anyways, yeah, you're bringing us specific. My apologies.
So in China, I think I read they have not read. I've watched entire videos on this. They have this specific exam, that almost everyone takes. Literally everyone takes this exam in China, and it's extremely hard. I from what I've heard, I'd place it, for like high school students. I'd place it like to a bar exam. You know, this shit
Oh.
is not easy.
Are you talking about like
Um,
entrance exams?
To college, dude.
Yeah,
to
okay, I know what you're talking about now.
This is the stuff they get that allow this is the exam they take that allow them to go to college. As well as they do on this test, colleges in the area look at it and and grade them, and fucking if you do good, you made it. If you don't, you get fucked. But it's all this it's this one thing and it covers everything.
So it's kind of like a harder version of like an ASFAB.
Basically.
Because I mean, an ASFAB's not everything, but it's kind of a core
I mean-
skills thing that bases off of like different career paths.
I
in
mean,
the
there are
military.
fucking like I'm trying to explain this while also playing this, and it's not working out too well.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty bad on my end.
I don't know what's happening. I fucking
Your
but
brain
no,
fart there.
no, I was paying attention to the game. Fucking
Once again, lost train of thought, which is
I-
okay.
no, I'm focusing. I never lose my train of thought. I just fucking am paying attention to something else. Anyway,
okay.
fucking they take this test and they go through it, and it's absolutely fucking brutal. And you know what? None of it matters because most of it is memorization.
Mhm.
They memorize the knowledge, and then I guarantee you, I almost guarantee you, they forget it right after.
Mhm.
And it's just this entire waste of their lives, you know. And I really feel like that's what the American education system is. Are we still in the same game anymore? What happened?
We all
I
died.
hopped out. I'm looking for that the thing I wrote.
Okay.
I am just I'm gonna play Stardew. I'm in the Stardew mood.
I
But
feel.
yeah,
But
so
it's a fucking it's like this along the same lines of what the American education thing. It's mostly memorization. It doesn't help anybody. It's a waste of your fucking childhood.
yeah, no, I agree. Because let's think about this. We're in school for almost a quarter of our lives.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna say this from my own personal experience, and I'll say this because I don't care. I'm a 4.0 student. I've been a 4.0 student throughout my entirety of college, and it's not because I study. I have not studied a single day.
Hmm.
It's not because, oh my god, this stuff is so hard. It's because this stuff is very common sense. It's like I do business. I'm a human resource management and general management, and some of the stuff that I see, it's like, oh, this is just a specific term that means the exact same thing as this specific term, or this training, this economics theory, but it's all within the title. And there's really not, I don't know if we just don't go into enough substance or if we go in too much substance for some things, but then when they apply it and we try to apply it with tests, it's always basic shit. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, you could eliminate half of the question, half of the answers. They're mostly multiple choice, and then there's one that is obviously wrong out of the last two.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just there's not really a care anymore for the individual learning. If it's more just like, hey, let's get as
Mass.
many people through
It's literally
with as
mass
many
produced learning.
things, and that's why nowadays your college degree is worth jack shit most of the time.
It's
Well, it
Obviously,
really-
literally
like
mass
engineering
learning.
and medicine, it's super important, but really, we're flooding our fields with just so much mediocrity. I think, and there was
Industrial.
a
It's industrial learning.
We
yeah,
just have
yeah.
to keep in mind that there's some field that actually does help, like that requires a college degree. But like I do agree that some college degree doesn't really help a lot of people.
But let me speak about this in the HR sense. So
Okay,
as
okay.
HR, you are typically set in the hiring position. So you're the person that's hiring a lot of people, especially as management, and that's what I'm in. And one of the first things I was told when I started taking basic like hiring or like labor economics courses was there is three big things you look for when you're hiring somebody. Because obviously they're not going to come to your desk unless they have the degree as like the entry requirement. But after that entry requirement, your degree doesn't matter.
Right.
It's, are you a veteran, which I think is great. I'm in the military myself. I think that's great that the veteran preference is still high up there. Are you of ethnic descent? And that's not to be racist. There is actual quotas in business. This is a real thing, a real business studied thing. And then what are your other skills? And then a lot of people, you could have that veteran preference or that ethnic background, but you're going to go to somebody that says, "Oh, I've done this my life. I have my own little side business." If you have that separate skill, that's the most important thing that companies are looking for nowadays, because everybody can do a basic HR job. Everybody can do a basic business admin job. Anybody can do finance. But it's what you also can do, like my brother, for instance. I'm not going to name his names. He's a marketer. He's not into website design, but his company said, "Hey, could you make a website for us?" He goes, "I don't know how to, but I'll teach myself." And he made this website for this $1 million company for a degree he doesn't even have. They didn't have to hire some, I don't
He
know
had
what
enough
web
familiarity with the subject that he could just.
Yes, he learned coding, he learned website design, and they now have this one employee that has these broad range of skills that can do the job of say 3 people.
That's
Now, is
okay.
it fair?
That's pretty awesome,
No,
though.
not for because if you're losing a couple jobs, but it's an awesome thing because that person can get paid more.
It makes
that
them
person
more
is-
versatile in what
That's
they do.
that's what I will
Yes.
say about the American education system. Once you
Does
leave high
promote-
school, the diversification of college classes is the best in the world.
Yes, there's a lot of versatility, but the problem is your degree really doesn't matter at that point. It matters as an entry requirement. But I know people that have an associates in business that are now directors of a company, and it's like
Because
that's
at that point,
insane.
it's mostly experience that's pulling in.
Mhm.
Well, for this person specifically, I'm not gonna name their names. They went in as business admin. They did payroll, and their degree taught them jack shit. They literally told me like, yeah, I learned nothing in school. I went there, put circles into dots, and I got my degree. I paid this large, absorbent amount of money, but they came out into the world. They started teaching themselves all these different tangible skills, like. For one, they got really good at the hiring process. They got really good at advertising, marketing, sales, all these different things. And their company said, well, we have this master's level guy over here that's trying to take this management position, but he doesn't know anything. He doesn't have any experience or any other skills, but we have this person who has an associate's degree that works in a lowly office making $35,000 a year, and then all of a sudden, they get promoted and they're making 100K. And it's like, even if you're that person, that master's degree person out there, you've been through school, you've spent $250,000 on your degree, and you get turned down over somebody with an associate's because you have some other skills. That's rough. That's tough because then you're like, well, I could have done that. I could have spent a third of the time, a quarter of the money, and be in the same position. Now, your promotability, that's the tough story because it's so hard to have a overall theory on what is to be expected in the hiring process when it's just constantly reinvigorated and redesigned every year, every new invention, every new company. So the education system doesn't prepare people for that.
Mhm.
Doesn't prepare people for like the real world. Like you're gonna get hit with it, and this is what's gonna happen. You need to have other skills, and I think we focus so much on our degree that these people come out with so much debt and so much education that it's like, well, they're so educated in this one thing, but they don't know anything else.
Mhm.
It's a weird long. I know I drew that out and took it a really weird long way, but
Yeah,
I'll leave
it's
that into you
fucking
guys.
if that's what I was talking about with the fucking college education system. If you go the European route, which is hyper specialization,
Hmm.
you're checking yourself out of so many boxes and doors that it's crazy. It's important to diversify your understanding about other degrees to bring a different viewpoint into what you're working on. Um, that way you probably it's more likely that you have a higher likelihood of doing a better job and just I can't I fucking I'm trying to search for the words. I'm not finding them. Uh, there's you're better off with a more diverse education than you are uh, root learning yourself to fucking master in a single subject.
When
Better
you
to be
say
a
that,
jack of trades uh, than a fucking master. You know.
Kyle, so what do you mean by diverse education? Do you mean like multiple areas in different
Well, I
education?
mean, in I'm pretty. This is from what I read. I could be fucking dead wrong, nailed on the dart. But
Mhm.
in Europe, most kids, fucking once they get out of whatever fucking lower education system they're in and get into the higher one, they
Mhm.
are railroaded through their major and their
Right.
major alone. Um, whereas in the U.S., say you're a lawyer, right?
Mhm.
You can take speech classes and PR classes. Uh, Something that isn't directly related to your major, but is very, very useful to you later down the line.
To a
Mhm.
point
Yeah.
though, because it may not fit to your curriculum because we're now so curriculum based where you have to have specific classes for specific requirements. So
And
as
But
a
Mhm.
no, no,
lawyer,
no,
you
no,
may
no,
not
no.
be able to take.
You're missing the point. Fucking, you
You
can
could take any
take those
class.
speech classes to be a better lawyer.
You
Do you
could,
mean
but
communication?
you may have to spend more time in school then, and it's paying more money.
or you can
Alright.
just use it as an elective though, 'cause there are electives with
Yeah.
certain classes.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Well, some schools their electives are specialized. You have to have
Well, I'm saying
electives in
usually they
certain
have give you
things.
like 3 electives that you can take any type of course you want. Usually,
True, but
I
that's
believe
typically
most colleges
your
give you that.
gen eds. You typically do those in your gen eds.
Mm,
At least from what I've experienced in college, that's a lot of the time what I see.
Yeah, I was
Nah.
gonna say for the
Um,
school
When I
I
went
go
through
to.
college,
okay.
fucking that was not the situation. But yeah, I
Yeah,
could take fucking electives and do my Englishes and whatever the fuck else it was, and I can still do like a speech class or two because it was required of me.
yeah.
Mhm.
Usually
True.
the I always the college I go to, they have like those classes that you must take: the speech, the English, the science, all that. And then you also have like 3 classes that you're able to take of whatever you want. And it's only 3 though. You don't get much more. But you can
But you
choose to.
can like
You could take
take a
whatever. You could take. You could be going to like an IT program and then say like, all right, I just want to learn animation. Like I can just take like you can take like an animation class. You can take like a music if you wanted, like anything you wanted, as long as it's
Yeah.
taught in their school, obviously. But usually I believe most colleges give you at least like 3, like kind of like those, like
I wouldn't say
classes to
most,
do.
but you sometimes have the option and the freedom to take an elective.
Yeah,
Even outside of money situations, you could fucking do stuff like that.
True, very true. I know in business personally, I think it's just because most people in the business field do a dual major because it's pointless to have a singular management degree now in this world.
Mhm.
That's where we don't really get the option to do anything elective wise. I see that a lot in business departments. I see that a lot in criminology, medical. I think really most of your freedoms of being able to do
I'll probably once
any
I
elective
Mhm.
is likely like your social sciences, your human studies, like women's studies. You can go women's studies and something completely left field from women's studies, but then you can combine these degrees.
Mhm.
And that's great for those people because by diversifying your degree, you're doing exactly what people want to see, having those excess skills too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. Like fucking having these SSLs that could help you later on. Like when I said lawyer and I said speech, um, I feel like that could really help a lawyer.
True. Yeah, no, like a public speaking class or like a
Yeah,
business communications,
yeah,
because a lot of lawyer speak is also business speak.
yeah.
yeah.
Because a lot of times it deals with business law or just law in general.
Just
But yeah,
helping you
like
out
that.
down in the future.
True, yeah. But I think that falls pretty close to each other. Um, but one thing I think with college, just in general, and just the education system in general, I don't think we really learn much. I think it's a lot of input and then regurgitate. And
Mhm.
I think that's probably one of the biggest issues with our education
You
system
probably
is the
catch
fact
like
that it's a regurgitation
1/5.
system. Yeah.
Education just nope.
What?
What's up, John?
Education just all messed
What?
up.
What?
I heard. I don't know. I'm not gonna say it.
I think John just
I think John clocked out.
Yeah,
yeah he's just
he's
whoa.
really quiet.
Yeah, well he keeps cutting out, but it's just like I'm gonna go back to high school here. In our high school, you are required to take I think 3 years of math. I
Yeah.
think
Oh.
that's
It's typical.
I think that's the state or most states do that. It's like a 3 year of math thing. I think because most of your education system is like government based or whatever it is,
Right.
but could be state, federal, whatever. But I know personally, I took accounting 1 and accounting 2, and I had a huge fight with my school over that becoming a math credit because they said, "Well, you're not allowed to take accounting as a math credit." And it's like, "Why not? This is a math credit that's actually going to help me because at that point I already had taken algebra, trigonometry, geometry, and I wasn't
You
going to take
took accounting
calculus."
as a math credit?
Yeah, wouldn't that be more
Yes.
business?
No.
It's not math at all.
Accounting is math, Kyle.
It
No,
is
I-
math.
Especially doing like tax returns and doing ledgers and stuff like that's math.
That is
You're adding and
math.
subtracting, multiplying and dividing. That's math.
No.
Adding and
I
subtracting
don't know
is
how
math,
you got
though.
away with that, but that's definitely not math.
Kyle,
Alright,
adding
what's
and
your
subtracting is math.
Kyle?
Yeah,
What's your
but you
definition of accounting?
Okay, we weren't going over gap and like we're not talking about accounting in the college level. Accounting
Oh.
college level is a business class. I'm talking about high school.
Oh yeah, we took that as well. That's not math.
That's how
Well,
me and
it
Kyle
is
met.
math.
Yeah.
It is. It's still math, but you do math in accounting. But
I'm gonna fight you over this later.
I was like,
Say
I'm not
it,
taking
say it.
calculus and stats in high school. There's no reason. I took stats and calculus in college, and there was no reason. I have never used a single bit of it. besides maybe regression analysis, but that's so rarely used. But they were saying you need to take calculus. If you're not taking calculus, you're not learning. And it's like, well, I'm also learning how to do my taxes or do my own finances. And then I took like a financial aid class, which taught me how to do a checkbook and get a credit card, buy a car, do stocks and stuff. And it's like these classes, these things that allow you to be a functioning human being,
Yeah.
are being
Thrown
people are
in the
villainizing them in
trash.
high schools. People are like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. That's gonna waste your time. You should take this
Mate,
creative writing class. And it's like,
mate,
why?
I didn't even get to take a checkbook class or a tax class. I didn't even get to take
No.
a tax class. I didn't get to take a checkbook class to learn how to do to file bills and to file
Mhm.
checks and
My
how to get credit cards and all that stuff until the last semester of fucking my senior year in high school.
Yeah, they did.
That
my
shit
my high
was
school didn't even
sidelined.
offer that class at all.
Was that a
Like,
requirement for you guys for your
Yeah,
senior
we
year?
did have to have that. Type
No,
of
it
class.
wasn't a requirement, dude. Not
Yeah,
at
it
all.
was. Maybe
No,
not
it
your year, but
was?
they made it require for. Yeah, it was a requirement.
They did not require it at our high school.
No.
Yeah,
It
not
was-
for me.
It
They
was
Just
an
actually
elective.
My year
recommended
was
you
required to take it.
against doing
guys
these
got fucking
like home
lucky.
life things. But so the reason I brought this up is there's a specific education system which actually is in use in certain parts of the United States, and their numbers have shown statistically that they are more effective than the Common Core education system that we use today. I can't remember if it's called the Common Core or the
It's Common
Four
Core.
Core. Common Core.
I wouldn't
So-
remember. I wouldn't forget something I hate.
It
with,
was
passion.
called. I saw it here. It was like personalized learning effect student achievement system. So it is a more one-on-one system, which is way more expensive for a high school.
Mhm.
Granted, so it's a lot more, I guess, fund demanding. But we already pay very little to our school, so we should
Yeah,
increase it
absolutely.
and allow for this.
Fucking children
But
of the
it
future.
but it instead of having all these, they would do English classes, but they wouldn't do like, they would do like comp and lit, your basic writing, your basic grammar, but they wouldn't be like you're forced to take a creative writing, you're forced to take this, but they would also include accounting, finance, economics, so basic things that get you the understanding of the world around you. Because let's be honest, if you have no basic understanding of finance, how in the hell are you going to be able to prepare for your future? Because retirement's really tough nowadays. Finance directly teaches you how to, or finance and economics directly teaches you how to invest your money properly for the future. Accounting also teaches you how to do your taxes so you're not under.
Yep.
Because if you go short on your taxes, that's some bad shit. You may have to pay $5,000 to the IRS if you fucked up that bad.
I think
Yep.
it's 10,000.
Or you may be overpaying when you're strapped for cash. So it's the importance of knowing how to manage your money is huge, but they don't like teaching it. How to get a credit card, how to stay out of debt, how to buy a car.
Yep.
These are things that keep people out of the lower class or keep people out of the low middle, put people up into the upper middle or even the lower upper. And it's
How to fucking balance a checkbook and how to budget properly.
yes, because I have so many friends that come to me because they have no idea what to do for investments. I
Yep.
invested really early thanks to my high school class and my high school teacher who taught me financial aid. They set me on a path of investing really early because I worked from the age of 14. But I think that's the earliest you can work in the United States with a work permit.
Correct.
And I would just spend my cash when I was probably 14, 15, 16. But as soon as I had that financial aid class, I was told, take half your money, put it away. Take a quarter of that other half,
Yep.
put it in investments. And you have a quarter to spend because you're 16. What the fuck do you need to buy? You don't have rent.
Drugs.
You don't have all this shit. And then nowadays, I look at my investments. I'm not going to see any numbers. That's my own information. But it's like, wow, I am already super set for my future as compared to some people that are twice my age.
Yep.
And
I didn't get any of
It's-
that shit. I'm only getting into it now, and it fucking
Mhm.
sucks dick, dude.
yeah, I mean, like we've had conversations on private about crypto and investments,
Right.
stocks and bonds and stuff because it's such a thick thing to get into. And if you have no I guess key to get into the door, you're trying to break it down with a hammer, or break it down with an axe, like Johnny from
Fucking.
Here's Johnny.
From the yeah, here's Johnny. Let me get money. But yeah, it's such a hard thing to get into, especially if you have no idea how to get into. Like I saw friends who got into the whole Doge thing, and they sunk so much cash in, and they lost money because
Yeah.
they bought it super late. They weren't paying attention to the market, and they didn't know how to read the market. Or people who only go into a single stock, and it's like you should diversify. You should try to do mutual funds or bonds or things that are going to actually give you some stability. And I know this is such a weird and deep and really thick and heavy topic, but I wanted to get into the basics of this. Not having this knowledge and not being taught this in high school really damages generation after generation.
Mhm.
We keep seeing the repercussions and the effects of people not really knowing how to take care of their finances, take care of themselves on the home side.
It
Because
honestly just sets
they don't
the
teach it.
future generation up for failure, or people are just gonna struggle more whenever they move towards the real world setting outside of high school, and
Right.
it's the most problematic thing. Like other than finances, I think it's also like teaching basic life skills, like how to manage. Like in my high school, yeah, had health classes, but health classes didn't generally cover all topics, at least for me. The only thing they were big on was sex education because
Oh,
they didn't
yeah.
want like teen pregnancy, which I can understand for the most part. But like, what about talking about nutrition? Yeah, they talk about nutrition, but they don't really teach us about I'm losing my train of thought here. I don't think they go in depth about managing well on your diet and like maybe budgeting things like towards whenever you're starting your life and you don't really have a lot of money around, like how we can find a way to have, oh my gosh, I'm struggling right now. To get the basic
Like a
needs
philosophy
out
of healthy living, shit like that.
of it. Exactly.
Mhm.
So
Like a home ec class, like you would do in like 7th or 8th grade.
So I think
You
it's
remember
just
that, Kyle, don't you?
Fucking I want to die.
health class for 8th grade was a interesting time for me, at least. So my health teacher was pretty interesting guy. Like he would just be so random. Was one thing that I still remember to this day. He was
What?
talking about car logos, like like brand logos, and he said the reason why a lot of men buy Ram trucks is because the Ram logo looks like a uterus, and that's
What?
why. Yeah.
What? I'm sorry.
What?
I am not
Wait.
making I'm not making this up. I'm sorry for other people that are hearing this, but like that's something that's just so out of the ordinary. It's like, why would you say that to a bunch of 8th graders? Like, I get it, like maybe we should be mature and kind of understand.
No, you're 8th grader.
I
Why
think-
would they
Exactly.
fucking
Let's-
change you?
I think
I
there's just
know.
On that
something about
com-
that
on that
teacher
How
comedic
that's
is-
relief.
not
Like my
right.
biggest question, like I even asked him, how is this relevant to anything? He's like, we're talking about sexual education. I'm like, yeah, like uterus is part of the reproductive system, but what does it have to do with like the Dodge truck, like the Ram? Like that's just a fucking logo. Like that's just what they stand by, and
Is
you're
that
just
how the pentagram came into being? Because guys,
I think that's just such a common thing with health teachers, though, because
Yeah.
that happened to us in our school too for health class.
What, they're
I
batshit
still remember this
crazy?
to this day. One of my good friends was sitting right beside me. We had the iPads. This is like just as the iPads were getting in. I wasn't in the class
Holy
that had them
fuck.
yet because we were older.
I think
we
I
got- we
remember
only had the
around the
iPads.
time when you talked about getting those. Yeah. A while
Yeah,
ago.
it was. I think it was just after you left and went to your other high school.
Mhm.
But we were in health class, and it was sex ed also, which is basic health. We did everything. I remember we watched the Super Size Me show where the guy actually had to cancel the show because he was having health problems, and they kept saying "fat" like over and over again. And it reminded me of the Weird Al Yankovic song. But there was one thing in particular. There's one day we came in and we were like, my buddy was on his iPad doing something, and the teacher goes, "You better not be on WhiteHouse.com." And we didn't think anything of it. And he goes, "WhiteHouse.com is a male's gay porn site where a
What?
bunch of white males," and we're like,
What?
"What the fuck
What the
are you
fuck
talking
you
about?"
talking about?
And he starts talking about WhiteHouse.com, and we're 7th, 8th graders.
At what point?
And this was out of nowhere. And he goes, "Okay, now on to today's lecture.
No,
We're
no,
gonna talk
no,
about
mate.
sex
No, no,
ed.
no, no. Now we're gonna talk
Yes.
about you.
God, I
Fucking-
Yes.
love that
Yeah.
teacher.
We were all thrown off. But then he threw us another curveball. You know what else he said that day? He made a weird joke. He was talking about some something about sexual how people start looking up porn to meet their sexual needs, and he goes, I know a lot of you kids like your hamster porn, and we're like, what?
What the?
Oh
f-
my
The actual
God.
fuck?
I don't even
I
wanna
remember looking at my
ask.
buddy, and I
Oh,
said, I just looked at him and I was like, dude, what in the hell are we in?
Look, project on some other kids, okay?
Yeah, this was fucking horrible. This was he just kept talking about these random porn things. And we're these stupid ass kids that have never seen porn in our life. The most we saw of porn was like, oh my god, that's a booby mag.
Yo.
Or a Playboy mag. Oh my god, it's a pinup girl. But
Oh,
it's
fucking
like,
maybe you guys.
he's
saw
talking
that.
about a men's gay porn site. He was talking about a site about hamster porn and other animal-related sexual desires. And then he went into like hardcore BDSM and was explaining like
This is
torture
not going
porn.
to be allowed on YouTube.
And
Yeah.
No.
No, it is.
We're not-
surprisingly.
no, we're not.
Surprisingly,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
fine.
allowed. It's
All
not.
right, let's talk about BDSM and its ethical use in this.
No.
All right,
I'm
finally I
good.
can start talking.
But my thing was, it's like this health had nothing to do with sexual health. It wasn't talking about it was just such a curve that we.
Yo, I
This would
struck
happen
these
for, like,
kids
2
with a
weeks.
curveball, and they don't even realize not even the half of
But
it.
the fact that I still remember it almost to a T to this day, almost what is it 10 plus years later, it's like, I really didn't learn anything in that class. He just made fun of people. He made
Mhm.
fun of people's kinks. He made fun of sexual
Mhm.
desires. He made fun of the super size me thing. He goes, "Oh, everybody in the United States is obese. That's the way we're supposed to be."
That's the
Yeah.
way we were supposed to be. dog.
You're telling kids they're supposed to be fat and only eat McDonald's for 60 days.
Why does this teacher just selling
or-
me to that?
Only
or-
60 days though. If you go over 60, you're not fat. You're healthy.
Granted, this guy was horrible, and I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, Kyle.
Mhm.
I think you remember who I'm talking about. He is one of the weirdest men alive at our school, and Wyatt probably knows him too. But I think Wyatt's gone. John, you remember him too.
Wyatt
Wait,
is
which one?
resetting his PC.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
that's
said
right,
the
his
network
graphics card
Which one
yeah,
else?
killed
card
himself.
issue.
Let's just mention he
What's
was
going on?
he helped out for football, John.
Oh,
Oh,
You fucking dipshit!
Oh my god.
Mike, bleep that.
Wait, what? I didn't even hear it myself.
You're gonna have to bleep that name.
Oh, okay.
You're so
not to expose
stupid,
this
John.
man. But yes,
You're
John,
so
you know who he is.
stupid.
It's just gonna be like, oh yeah, beep.
You're
But
so retarded.
it was.
thanks.
I don't know if it was just our school and the demographic we had and the bubble we lived in, but it was just bad.
I think
I
that applies
also
to all of
remember-
the schools around here. I don't think it's specifically yours. 'cause-
Especially-
I don't know if it's
Katya,
yeah.
from what I've heard of your schools, it has to be like most of the schools around the area.
I'll pull in that.
Let's just give this insight. A lot of the schools we went to were predominantly white.
Mhm.
Not to say there's anything wrong with predominantly white schools. It was just the areas we lived in were very
Mhm.
Can we give the impression?
racist.
Never mind.
We lived in a lot of racist communities, which was weird because I grew up in a place where I was like the only white person, and I actually thought it was weird seeing more white people because I was friends with everybody of ethnic diversity because I was alienized myself because I didn't speak English that well at that young, even though I have a perfect English accent now and you don't hear anything Italian. It's
And you judge me for how I say things.
Yes.
but I don't have an
Yes.
accent. You don't hear the accent unless I speak Italian.
Yeah.
But when I was young, I had a little bit of an accent. I think it was even before you met me, Kyle.
Mhm.
And
Because
it
when I
was,
met you, maybe it was just brain waves, but I've had no trouble understanding you.
dude, we became friends because we were like, "What's your birthday?"
What's your birthday?
And we're like,
Fuck
"Oh,
yeah.
it's the same birthday!" And that's what started the dictatorship of Kyle and Alex. But no, joking.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but it was weird because I was friends with like the ones, like the only people of that ethnic background in the school, and it was weird how other people looked in at that group. As I look back on it now, people really were really fucking racist. People looked at us like we were weird, and people looked at me like I was like this white boy sitting with such and such person, and or this people would call me by the Italian slur, which I won't say here in case YouTube gets pissed off. Um, sitting with this other slur, and it never really hit me. I thought it was just normal. I thought it was just typical bullying. But now with like how society has been changing, I look back at that and I was like, wow, the education system really, especially in our area, really was like if you were anything other than white Christian, like democratic male, you were ostracized by everybody else.
Hmm.
You were treated differently. Your education was harder. People purposely had it out for you. And I mean that's completely different from the reform in education. So I think that's more just looking in on who we decide to make teachers. But that's a very wide stroke that I don't think is right for this topic of conversation. But it led in from the health.
Alright, so we went on for quite a bit about that, and I hate having to do this, but
We're not
let's try,
really. Really,
let's
we're
try
on
not
for.
to fucking make this so long that we can't even send files.
It's not gonna be that long, but I did. So I want to bring up one statistic that I found. That I was talking about earlier with the cost of the personalized achievement system over the normal system which we used.
Right.
It's somewhere near 6 times more expensive to do the personalized as compared to the broad, like say
Mm.
30 to 1,
Well, you know
teacher to
what,
30
Alex?
students.
That sounds more American to me. Let's make people pay out the ass. Honestly, though.
Yes, taxes,
Oh yeah.
death and taxes.
Death and taxes.
Those are the only absolutes.
But
But
I'd. I don't know how much it'd be overall. Like 6 times doesn't give me an amount when I don't even know what
so
we pay for
I'll give
taxes
you.
anyway.
I actually have an excerpt which is from an article I pulled out when I did this thing. It was the Allegheny Institute for Public Policy provided an article. They compared 2 school districts within their area. One was a property-rich school district, which I won't name the location as to prevent people from
You
looking too
just
much into
you
it.
just said it, but
Yeah, you
Yeah,
said
you literally
Allegheny.
just said it.
Well, Allegheny is there's a lot of Alleghenies, guys.
Okay.
I'm not
Mm.
saying the school district itself. Allegheny it was Allegheny Institute. It's not a school district.
Okay. Okay.
it is.
But this school district, which is a property rip school district, raised
Might cut that shit
over
out.
24,000 per student. So that was how much money they had per student per year.
Mhm.
That's almost a fucking college.
Yeah. But then there was a property poor, which was right next door, essentially. It was less than a couple miles away. Struggled to raise even $4,000 per student. And it shows that it also highly depends on the location. Like I know a lot of inner city schools struggle to get the funding to give the proper education to a large mass of kids. And just whereas like you go out to small communities, like say in the bumfuck nowhere of Alabama, we'll use Alabama as an example, and there's
Fuck.
like a town of 50,
Sweet.
50 students, and they
Alabama.
can't that proportionally they may raise the same money as say a school that has 180, but each student has more money that is allocated to them for their
I don't think
education.
there's a single town in Alabama that has like 50 people.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like it's
You and
these
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
systems. These systems are so expensive to try to implement a better education system that it also falls down to should we fund it more government wise, which still technically we would be paying more because it would just increase our taxes slightly.
Hmm.
Or if we took it from one thing and put it into another. But we're not into we're not going to talk about the GDP and what is allocated where.
Yeah.
That's such a thick and diverse topic. But it's interesting to see some schools struggle and some schools thrive with the same amount of people purely based on the like the county dynamics.
Hmm.
You know, is this a rich community
Yeah,
or is this a poor community?
I know
And it
living up
shows
here.
that you can't get the same education
Yeah, I know living up
even
here.
5 miles away.
Fucking where I went to fucking high school up here, it was like a middling school district, right? Right, Mike. Alright, cool. Mike's gone.
I think both schools we went to are like kind of like midline.
Yeah, but fucking not north of us. There was this other school district that was filled with rich kids out the ass. I'll tell you what, Alex. It was filled with rich kids out the
See,
ass. You drive through their neighborhoods, and it was actually mansions. They were
driving like
literally mansions.
Bugattis and Maseratis and shit like that.
Yeah, fucking. They were literal mansions. Precipice of the hill. And I'll tell you what, each and every single one of those kids were emo, and they trashed the shit out of their school.
It's like the I hate my dad underscore 420 underscore
they
fuck my ass.
fucking all emo motherfuckers.
All listening to My Chemical Romance,
Yeah,
blasting
exactly.
I'm Not Okay, and you know.
Fucking reading some shitty Harry Potter fanfic.
I have no hate towards My Chemical Romance. I wasn't an emo. I'm a hardcore guy.
Yeah. But like fucking, and we didn't live too that far away from them. It's just fucking county dynamics and who lives where and why they live there and what they get. You know.
Yeah, it's super. It's it's saddening
I mean, it
to
literally all
see
comes
some
down
communities
to
struggle.
it literally all comes down to does your community have the money to do this?
Yeah.
You know?
Do the people have enough? You know, are they paying enough taxes? Where enough people? You know, because that's another big thing too. You pay taxes and money for your education. Also, your parents,
Yep.
through other means, and we. I don't know if it's an issue of privatized schooling. I don't think it would be much better if, say, if you went to federal schooling, because then if they can't afford to give such high education, they're just going to lower it down. So there's pros and cons to each. But if if anybody in the audience, when we eventually get an audience, I'm not alienating stuff here, but if anybody ever wants us to go more in depth on a specific topic, you just let us know and we will. We do some surface level research and from our own personal knowledge and experience, and we're just talking up to stimulate conversation. Again, we say we're a semi-intellectual
Yeah, we're
bullshit
just speaking out
podcast.
of our asses, honestly.
We're semi-intellectual and we try to be comedic. We're probably not funny because we're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, I'm the
Um,
only comedic relief here.
And go fuck yourself. But yeah, yeah. Boom. I'll go grab the
Well,
drum set
to
and
add
piss off
on
my
to
neighbors.
it, like if you have any like topics you want us to cover on, or if you have any like feedback or opinions or anything you want to like extend, you can definitely mention it in the comments below. We would love to read it. We're always very
Hey,
active.
Mike, put this part at the end of the video.
Yeah, wait,
No.
I don't worry, I take care of
No,
that
we
stuff.
could. Yeah, sure. Yeah. But yeah, we'll bring it back up at the end and.
Can we?
Yeah.
But
I feel.
When?
Hello.
He's back.
Oh, no.
Kick him.
Kick him?
No, don't fucking you idiot. Don't kick him. Are you
Oh my
recording?
god, you're alive!
Yes, we're still recording.
Oh, by the.
Oh,
Did
him.
you stop and save your recording, Wyatt? Oh, so nobody's gonna hear you.
I don't think he said anything either.
That's good though.
Okay.
I don't know.
Bro, I'm running a game. I got files open in the internet.
Yeah, fucking
Steam,
running a
Discord.
game. I got like 0.4%, mate.
Yeah.
Mind
Man,
you got a
seems
new
your-
computer and it's still
your
not functioning. What's
beefy
going on?
computer still can't beat mine.
Mate, you
Won't
spent
you be
5K on that motherfucker.
No, I have an iBuyPower computer.
I have an
and mine works
iBuyPower.
beautifully.
I think it
Yours
really
is just
depends
trash.
on.
They just don't like you.
I think it's
I mean,
user error.
honestly, I don't know like what it's like doing this process, but I think it depends on who's working on it. If I'm not wrong.
No, again,
saw
user error.
They saw Big Paycheck
John,
and
are
said,
you
"We're just gonna
playing
fuck
Valheim
this
right
one
now?
over." He is,
That bitch.
or he's dead. He's probably dead still.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Oh man.
Okay.
So we're gonna hard
Yeah,
transition
Valheim.
real.
No, but actually, speaking of schooling, one of my favorite things I actually took was a philosophy class.
Nice,
Ooh.
thank
And
you.
it was actually a guy who went across the world and listened and talked with people of different philosophical backgrounds,
really?
people that taught different
It seems like that class went really
philosophies,
well.
and he wrote his own book based off of all these
What?
different stories of people, and we used his book for the class.
What was the
It
book?
was one of my I don't know the name off the top of my head. I have it saved somewhere. I can look it up and
You
send
probably
it to
shouldn't
you
say
guys.
it out loud to
And
parents either.
I
It's about
shouldn't
podcast.
because it's yeah, I shouldn't just because it's
Send it to me though
it,
later.
w-
though.
it, w-
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
send it to you personally. Sorry, everybody else in the audience. Go fuck yourself. I love you.
Wow.
No, honestly,
Oh,
just
Jeez.
go
the
fuck
mixed
yourself.
signals.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah. We send mixed signals to each other. Love you, Katya. Hate you.
I love you too, Alex.
You're kicked out.
Losers.
Why?
I'm joking. All right.
Bruh.
Anyways,
joking.
yeah. So he wrote his own book. He taught me so much about philosophy. And I'm just gonna transition to philosophy with. There was one thing that was really neat. It was one of the first things we talked about, and it was like this 4 square grid. I can't remember the name, but he said, you know, let's just talk about something random. Let's bring up something that's philosophically challenging, and I'm going to bring it up by this: belief in God. Now, granted, I'm not going to say that belief in God is wrong. Belief in God is. I personally am religious in a very light capacity. I grew up Jewish, Catholic. I had some Islamic ties with some other family, so I've experienced a lot of it, and then I moved down into other things, which I won't go into specifics. But
I am
he talked
sort of
about-
on the fucking twip between, but go
yeah,
keep
and
going.
there's nothing wrong with anything. I think
To each
it's
their own
your
with
it's
religion
your
and
choice.
aspects.
It's your choice. It's your free will. But do we have free will? That's a philosophical question. But we'll come back to that.
Kill
um,
yourself.
Yes, I will kill myself later. I will pull the 9.
Please
God.
I'm joking.
don't.
God has
I'm
answered my prayers.
joking.
Are you sure you're joking?
So
Trigger
back
warning.
to this philosophical question. It was like a philosophical challenge in a sense. It's
Right.
a 4 square grid.
Right.
On the you have your top left,
Yep.
and you have your top and your side.
Right.
On your top left side,
Correct.
you had belief in God. On your bottom side, you have your bottom left side, you have your non-belief in God.
Right.
And then at the top left,
Right.
it was ultimately good and ultimately bad. So it was ultimately good, ultimately bad. Now,
Mike, I just want you to, whenever you have the chance for this entire segment, can you like have a square and then just start arrowing like random sides?
I
of the
can-
square?
I
Wait,
can
what?
send you.
All I heard
I
was
can
something
send you the
about square
picture,
and
Mike.
an arrow.
Yeah, like I can
it's-
send you
I
the
was
picture
so
if you want to push it
confused
up.
at the top right,
Yeah,
the top
I'm
right, right,
I'm like
the
getting
top
so
left, right.
lost.
left, right, up, down, and then you unlock the secret hidden menu.
Throw in
I
the
will s- I-
roadmap too.
Listen,
Yeah,
I
listen.
will send something into Mike so he can see it. And then he could post it up for everybody else to see. But it
Make a meme out
was
of it.
okay.
Trash.
If you believe in God, and sorry.
I'm just gonna
It's
put up
belief
on
in
tab-
God,
I'm just gonna put up on
non-belief
text.
in God.
Work.
I'm sorry, belief in God, non-belief in God, ultimately good, ultimately bad, does exist, doesn't exist. So, if you believe in God and he doesn't exist, it can be said that your life is still ultimately
Oh
good because
yeah,
you
the
live
fucking
by-
isn't this like a cartel fucking thing?
I don't remember the thing, but let me explain it first, and then we can go on a little bit topic, just so we're not breaking it up super quickly.
That's fine.
But so if you believe in God and he doesn't exist,
Yep.
your life is still ultimately good.
Yes.
Because you typically live by a good set of ethics and morals.
Mhm.
You live a happy life typically.
Fuck.
unless
What's the
you-
name of this thing?
I can't remember the name. But if you believe in God, or if you don't believe in God and he doesn't exist, it really doesn't matter. It could be ultimately good, but could also be ultimately bad, because maybe you're one of the people that doesn't believe in God out of pure hate, and you're like, I need to do the exact opposite. Or maybe you're a person that says, I don't believe in God, but I still want to be a good person. So that's such a up in the air kind of one, that little square. So it can't be said if it is good or if it is bad.
Right.
But say
But like fucking,
if
it's
you
like
don't-
if you do believe in God and he does exist,
it's ultimately good.
it's ultimately good. If he doesn't
Yes.
exist and you do believe in God, it doesn't matter. You're still being a good person.
You're still a good
If you
person. But if
don't-
he doesn't exist and you don't believe, or if he does exist and you don't believe, it could be ultimately bad,
right.
depending on your interpretation of the Bible.
Okay,
You could go to hell.
I think I
Or you could have lived a terrible life and gone to hell, or you could have lived a good life and you don't get anything.
Right.
So the purpose of this challenge was not to say that you should believe in religion, but the philosophical question was, what is more beneficial for you as a human?
Right.
And if you really look at it, on the philosophical spectrum, the more beneficial is to believe in God, because regardless if he exists or doesn't exist, you're still living an ultimately good life.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that's the way you should go to anybody out there, but this is a philosophical challenge, which I'll pop up and I'll try to find the name of the specific.
I think I
person
already
who
know
came
what
up
you're
with it.
talking about. I think it's Pascal Wager.
Pascal's Wager, yes,
yeah.
Katya, holy
Yeah.
hell,
Uh,
you
Nice.
saved it. It's Pascal's Wager,
Yeah,
yes.
it's done by
It's-
Blaise Pascal. So
Yes. That's the most common, I think that was one of the most common interpretations of Pascal's Wager.
he's a
And that's what he
17th
used.
century French philosopher. So
Yeah. So you imagine saying that in his time, you were pretty ostracized.
yeah.
But it was the fact of this Pascal's Wager, that you could apply this to a lot of things.
I
You know,
remember
you want to go
this.
with the one that's ultimately good both ways, because then you're never losing.
Right.
But if you go with the other way, you potentially will lose 50% of the time. And that's the wager. Do you want to take the wager of possibly having the fact where you potentially lose and not have to live by any ethical code or morals?
Live life as a daredevil.
Yes. Or do you want to live it safe and have a ultimately good either way? And that was Pascal's Wager, and that was one of his first introductions. And I was like, whoa, I already love this fucking class. Then he brought it into the whole free will conversation. But I want to open up to you guys. What is your take on philosophies? Like, let's talk about different subjects of philosophies.
Now, are
I-
we fucking opening up with what we think philosophy is, or just fucking?
Well, do we want to define philosophies as a
No.
way to everybody to
Nah,
understand?
let
I
it-
think
we
I'm
probably
pretty
should.
sure.
No.
All right, let me look up.
Honestly, I
Philosophy.
do
Keep
have
t-
the
keep
faith
talking.
in our audience, our future audience.
But everybody's gonna
what
have a different
philosophy is.
definition. That's the one thing.
Yeah,
I would
that's
say.
true. That's true.
Let's look it up.
No,
I would
You guys
imagine-
got
I-
this.
Merriam-Webster.
definition. There's only one definition. That's the
Okay.
one Google gives me.
So I'm looking at Merriam-Webster's philosophy. And there's a whole bunch of definitions. Definition of philosophy: 1A, all learning exclusive of technical precepts and practical arts.
All right, that's it.
It's a bunch of
1A is the one that's always good.
Or 2, the sciences and liberal arts exclusive of medicine, law, and theology.
Boo.
3,
Piss.
we're not talking about 3.
Wow.
This just talks about 4-year college. 1, or C, a discipline comprising as its core logic, aesthetics, ethics, metaphysics, and epistemology.
Yeah.
Yes, a pursuit of wisdom, an analysis of the grounds and context of expressing fundamental beliefs.
That's how I usually look at philosophy.
So it's pretty much your morals, beliefs, and ethics, codes, laws, how you should live your life in kind of a sense. That's really butchering it to a really simplistic manner, but that's kind of how I thought about it to
Yeah.
make it more palatable.
Actually, I
Ooh,
kind of want to
palatable.
open this up. Does anyone have their own personal philosophy that they follow? Mike, I'm gonna
not-
throw it at you first. I know
You-
Katya. has
You
an
know I
answer.
don't. I
You-
really
you,
don't.
You just moving along.
I just kind of move along and kind of what I believe is just kind of more like how I feel in the moment, more or less.
Okay. Absolutely. Katya. I don't want to hear your answer. Alex.
Wow. Okay.
So
Bruh,
no, wait, no,
come
Alex,
on.
Alex,
I don't know
calm
if this
down.
is a
We'll
Calm
go
down.
back to
I'm
it.
joking.
Katya.
Yeah.
Katya, let's talk about your Soviet. Let's go ahead.
No, not that at all.
Joking.
Like, so I don't really
Red, better
have.
dead than red.
Yeah.
Shush.
Marshall Plan.
Yep.
So for me, philosophy also kind of varies. I think I just kind of like to look into philosophies and learn a little bit more about them. So there's one that I remember so well because, I had an amazing English teacher that really taught this aspect of philosophy so well. I think he really internalized it more than any of us did. But like for me, I just was fascinated by it in some ways.
What is it?
So it's called transcendentalism. So
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
so basically it's
I forget everything.
this is like basically
Oh.
my memory
Ooh.
and also like part of my research that I did
Right.
a while back.
Go
So to start off, like the origins, it was basically closely related to Unitarianism. So it's like in brief description, it's like a Christian theological
Wait,
movement.
Unitarianism, or utilitarianism?
No,
Not
Unitarianism.
utilitarianism. No,
yeah,
no.
Unitarianism.
Okay.
Unitarianism. Sorry,
Terrorism.
I'm butchering.
Terrorists.
I'm butchering this so much, so please, guys, bear with me.
Everyone, just subscribe to terrorism.
No.
So-
No, you just got
we do not
flagged.
condone
No.
the
Do you not
well,
condone terrorism? No.
Okay,
Okay.
we do not
To each
sponsor
their
this
own.
message. Okay, so
We
to
live
redirect.
in a
If you hurt
society.
if you hurt civilians to create terrorism,
Yeah.
you're an ass.
You're
You're a
an ass.
douchebag. You're a douchebag.
yeah,
you
no,
deserve everything you
that
get.
is yeah.
Okay.
Fair
Don't
enough.
hurt civilians, people.
We
Don't
live
hurt
in a
civilians.
society.
Put that meme in.
Yep.
All right,
catch
so
up, continue.
to reel it back in, so it's based on a Christian theological movement that believes that the God in Christianity is a one entity. So guys, I'm not saying I'm backing up this statement. This is just a philosophy that they instigated. So
It's just a theory.
calm down, everyone.
A game theory.
Hakuna
Yeah.
Matata.
So this is basically a straight up Google search because I didn't really hear about Unitarianism until like it was mentioned in the Transcendentalism.
I got a notebook somewhere with it in there.
Yeah. So moving forward, Transcendentalism was developed from the Unitarian emphasis regarding to free conscience and value of intellectual reasoning.
Right.
They were not particularly fond with the content of Unitarian sense of rationalism, which
Okay.
also kind of makes sense. And then eventually they just split away from the Unitarianism, oh my gosh, to focus on a more spiritual aspect.
Yes, unit.
Therefore, stop. Therefore, Transcendentalism was born. Based on my memory, anybody can like extend this or do more research. I'm just doing this based on memory. So the basic beliefs behind it was they believed in the power of the individual. The transcendental knowledge was like their religion and philosophy and principles were based on the German Romanticism. I don't know too much about the German Romanticism, so if anyone know about it, feel free to interject.
I feel
one-
like I was picked that up in a class somewhere. I don't remember much about it. Keep going.
Mhm.
It sounds familiar, but I don't know. Either.
So the two people that I am very familiar with that was part of the Transcendentalism Club, I'm not sure, I might be completely wrong, is Emerson and
Rule
Thoreau.
1 of the club: don't talk about the club.
Roll what a Fight Club.
Well, I'm not even
We
part
don't
of
talk
it.
about
so.
Fight Club.
He was one of the Emerson was like one of the number one philosopher that I remember when I was studying about this topic. Philosophy. And then to like kind of wrap up the beliefs behind it, Transcendentalists have like a deep appreciation for nature and also observing and understanding the structure and inner workings of the natural world, and that's something I can get behind with because like I love nature. I really love spending time outside. I don't really necessarily like isolating, and Transcendentalism really empathize on isolation. Like I do like to maybe
This
like
is gonna
take
take away from your thing for just a small second, but speaking
Okay.
of nature, I'm watching someone like slaughter a fish. Anyway, continue.
Thank you for the
Welcome to Deer Meat for Dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, I did have fish for dinner, so
Okay, we can't get
Gross.
that off.
we
track.
came
Keep
we
going.
came to a full
Gross.
circle. But anyways,
Gross.
okay, you know
Sure.
what?
That's what we believe.
Anyways, for me personally, I do appreciate the philosophy of Transcendentalism because it really focuses on appreciating nature. And for me, like I can kind of relate to this because sometimes there's always a time that I just want to just stop what I'm doing and I just want to like take at least 2 to 3 hours of my day and like put myself outside and kind of isolate myself temporarily to just kind of focus on myself and also just I don't know, connect with the natural world. I'm not trying to get super spiritual here. I'm kind of a little bit of a spiritual person.
Very
So,
Buddhist or Hindu in nature.
oh, yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah. So what kind of got me to look into more of a transcendentalism? I actually read a book by Henry David Thoreau, which is one of the transcendentalists. I might be
Yeah,
completely
Thoreau is a huge.
Yeah,
he's a huge part in philosophy.
he's well known by a lot of philosophers, and especially in a lot of philosophy classes that I took. He was widely mentioned more than Emerson, and I think if I remember correctly, I think Emerson actually mentored Thoreau. I might be completely wrong, but I swore I heard it from somewhere. So he wrote a book about Walden and the civil disobedience. I think that was also a really interesting book. So it basically talks about a guy that moved into a small cabin in the woods, And basically he embraces his solitude, not isolation. I was completely wrong. I meant solitude. Isolation was not even in it. It was solitude and simplicity. And then it also touched base on civil disobedience, which kind of included his viewpoints on anti-slavery and anti-war sentiments. So carrying on from this book, uh, there's a really interesting story, a true story, not me, but like someone else. So I think there was a guy who lived in Maine, and just out of nowhere, he just decided, you know what? Fuck this society. I'm going to go live in the woods and just
Yep.
go off the grid.
Oh yeah.
And he literally lived there for 27 years in
Mhm.
isolation. So
Every
there's
once in a
been
while, he'd go and get like an apple or something.
uh
Okay, he went to
Jesus
got
Christ.
lost, and he's like, huh. Fucking 27
Mhm.
years later, he found civilization again.
yeah.
And that's
Well,
how
actually,
fucking Abraham.
I
fucking-
think what happened was some like the hikers came across with him and then like found that it was kind of weird. So I think they contacted authorities and they actually forced him back into society. But like imagine 27 years not going like having much interaction with society. Like
Right.
this I think he yeah, so actually I'm reading the source right now. It says that between 1986 to 2013. Around that, it's kind of like roughly 2 decades. Around that time, so many things has changed. So imagine in his position, from just leaving the society where it was and then re-entering it to where it is like now. Like, just let's just understand like how much of a I don't I don't want to say culture shock, but like it's kind of like some form of shock from going from one thing and not really knowing anything that happened. Like literally, he possibly missed 9/11 and didn't even know that even happened. Honestly, um, so it's just like it's crazy, like to see a story that a guy kind of like took that route. We can't really just say, oh yeah, he's a transcendentalist because maybe it did say that he was. I don't know, but it kind of like ties up the whole idealism of connecting with nature and like finding solitude and not really associating with the society in the way it is.
Withdrawing yourself.
So he may have not thought of himself as a transcendentalist, because actually I was talking to Kyle earlier about this, and this may not always be true and not always the case, but it's a pretty common thing, and I actually saw this. This was true of Karl Marx also. They typically don't call themselves the philosophy that they create because typically the philosophy is created by followers of this person. Because Karl Marx, I don't know this specifically, but I don't think Karl Marx said this is Marxism. He was critiquing capitalism,
Right.
and people that followed in behind him followed into the Marxist way.
Right.
People like Lenin and Stalin and all these guys formed their own socialism, the USSR, shit like that, the Bolshevik Revolution. So it's a lot of times these people aren't what they quote unquote invented, or they don't call themselves what they invented.
Well, it's not that they aren't what they invented. It's just
They don't see themselves as that.
Or maybe it's
not even
just
that. It's just who they are, rather than
Yeah.
fucking. I'm following this. No, this is how I see the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that they're not a part of this philosophy. They are the philosophy essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We
I
are
think it's just
philosophy.
like I think the reason behind like what you said with the Marxism, I think that's why like transcendentalism was born is because they just didn't agree with most of the ideals and Unitarianism. So that's why it's just like philosophy is so I don't want to say unpredictable, but like it can
They
just mold
picked what
and form.
worked for them and what they
Exactly.
felt worked,
And like
they
there's
rolled with it, and so what came out was something else.
Philosophy is just a lot of pretty much it's a lot of this stuff just based on like free will, morals, ethics, life and death, and a lot of it is based on kind of just life. And, it's not really anything particular in most cases, but it's a lot of times based on what do you believe.
Fucking,
yeah.
I'm going through meditations right now, and I'm reading up on Marcus Aurelius' stuff, and I think I told this to you earlier. A lot
Yeah.
of what he says, I fucking absolutely love it. I haven't gotten through a lot of it at all. I constantly think about what he's saying, but most of it really piques my interest. Other stuff, when he touches on spiritual matters, I do not care for because I just don't believe in spiritual matters to begin with. I consider myself well learned enough in Christianity and Catholicism and the Old
Catholicism.
Testament. No, not a fucking Catholicism. Yes, the Old Testament and fucking uh, his name and the fucking offshots and the fan fiction made by actual people who wrote with the Bible. But because there's some like a lot of the shit you probably read when you were younger is basically fanfic of the Bible.
Yeah, in a sense, because
In a
a
sense.
lot of the Old Testament is the history of
No,
Israel.
dude,
And
not in the Old Testament. A lot of people think they read
but
stuff when
in
they
the
were
new
younger.
the New Testament is a lot of Jesus Christ.
Not,
So
not that's actual shit. No, I'm talking about
yes.
fucking. A lot of people think they read stuff in the Bible when they were younger, and it's just not there. It's in other books.
Oh, I see.
But
Yes.
and those books are like basically fanfic. But uh, I don't really believe in spiritual stuff, so when I just skip over that stuff and I take what I see and I like and I apply it to myself to be a better person, you know.
Mhm.
And it's sort of like it's sort of like a Bruce Lee taking the best his presumed best skills in a martial art and combining them with other skills from martial art, and that's basically how he went about his life, you know.
I love that comparison, and I'm only going to compare things to Bruce Lee now.
Well, I mean that's what he did.
Bruce Lee. Bruce. Though, actually, I think I'm going to go more Jackie Chan because he's a little bit more funny.
It doesn't matter. All I'm saying is Bruce Lee took what he saw was effective and incorporated it into his own fight style, and that was it. And that's what I think a lot of people who look at life and study the moral questions do. They only incorporate what they think is best, which isn't wrong at all. That's completely right.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great little snippet there. I philosophy just as a whole is such an interesting topic that it fights so many things or contradicts so many things. Because I know a lot of times people say
I
you
wouldn't say
can't be
contradicts. It
not contradicts, but combats maybe is a better word.
touches upon.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I know a lot of times spiritual people or very spiritual people can't believe in philosophy. They force themselves that they can't because it's not
Well, I mean, if you
that
think about it,
way.
the
But
Bible
then
is a
some people
philosophy.
argue. But then some people argue that religion is a
It
philosophy,
is.
and that's true. But that's from an eyes of somebody who thinks more philosophical instead of somebody who thinks more religious. So it's nor right nor wrong
Hmm.
because
Well, I mean, if like I was just talking about a little bit earlier, Marcus Aurelius like interweaves with his own Stoicism matters the touchings of the spiritual being and your soul and all that stuff. So to him, I am assuming it's one and the same, you know? Uh, your essence of your religion and how you look at life in the moral code are one and the same rather than different entities.
mhm. Yeah, no.
Did
His stoicism with Marcus Aurelius. I think it was who else was big into the stoicism.
Seneca
Um,
and
Seneca. Yes. Yeah. These
fucking
th-
this fuck.
You got this.
Epictetus.
No, I don't because his name is long and hard.
Oh.
I know his book. It's Discourses though. It's Discourses.
Oh.
Epictetus.
Yes, Epictetus. Yes. Holy fuck, are we stupid?
No, we're not.
No,
No,
I wouldn't say
I
that.
just
Only you.
no.
We're
just
semi-intellectuals.
yes, we're semi-intellectual comedic podcast. Rambology, but USA.
All right.
Whoa.
What was that?
I think somebody just snorted a line of coke there.
Damn.
That or a really fucking weird fart, but
Ugh.
let's not hope it's that.
Oh,
but-
jeez.
I actually want to bring up a different philosophy, and I don't know if this really is a philosophy because you were asking earlier, Kyle, what is kind of what we subscribe to, or what the philosophy we subscribe to.
Realism.
I have mentioned this. Fuck you. But yes. So I did mention earlier that
A
I am
realist.
religious. I am spiritual religious. I do believe in God. That's my own
Well,
personal thing. I'm not a
I said
denomination, but
realism, not religion.
shut up. I'm bringing up both. Love you, but I
I
spit.
love you too. Oh my god.
I spit. All right. But I believe with my religious side, it's just to do right by people. It's what a lot of what I got out because, like I said earlier, I grew up Jewish. I am Israeli of descent. My family is really old bloodline of Jewish bloodline, like all the way back to tribe of Reuben
He
shit.
takes
stuff
a
like
lot of pride in it. Okay.
Yes, I am God's people. No,
Oh God.
I had to do it in the
Oh no.
do it like in like a German like Wilhelm, like I am God's people, the Aryan. No, I'm not gonna
Fucking
do that.
Switzer accent. Austrian.
Yeah, come on, we must get to the chopper because we are God's people. He will protect
And
us.
this is the
No.
part where the podcast evolves.
Yes, we've been dissolved.
Dissolved? We have
Uh,
dissolved.
we have dissolved. We have become water and fuck.
No.
Salt and
Oh my
water.
God.
Ah!
Oh,
Um,
We are now
we're
going through
only-
elevator.
Bruce Lee. Do you know?
Yes,
like
God.
water, my
but,
friend.
but back to it. I've seen a lot of the Jewish ideals. We've celebrated Jewish holidays. I've seen a lot of the Christian and Catholic ideals, Protestant ideals, some of the Muslim ideals, and a lot of them. And some people don't get offended if you're very religious in your one side, but I've seen it all. I've been a part of it all. I've practiced these three different religions, forcibly and willingly. Um, a lot of them are the same thing. It's a lot of it is do right by your people, do right by people in general, and I think a lot of that brought me into, I guess you could say, realism. Um, I wouldn't say I'm realist more towards pessimism or realism more towards optimism. I can't really know if that's a philosophy in itself, but a lot of what I see is people have like these existential crises over some minor things, and I know Kachi can say this as out of experience, and I've just been like, well, it's not that. It's just this.
Mhm.
It's not A and B's turning into blah 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 blah. It's not against you. This isn't the end. It's really just simply just this.
A and B didn't
Um,
walk up and beat the shit
I,
out of
I
the
guess
C.
I guess the best way to put it is some people have described this to me as realism, and I've described it to other people. The whole like glass half full, glass half empty.
Right.
As a realist, I'm just like, I don't care if it's half full or half empty. It's a glass of water.
Let me drink it,
Drink
bitch.
it,
I'm thirsty.
or go fill it up.
I'm
Right.
telling
Like
you,
literally,
it's
like
half
bitch,
empty,
go
so-
fill it up if it's half empty then, or if it's half full, fucking drink it.
I-
Get more.
Yeah, I think we were
It's-
talking about this earlier. Fucking pessimism is not
Often,
wrong.
yeah,
or not the answer.
no, it's not. Yeah,
A
but
lot of
I've
people
been
look at
told a lot of
pessimism
times.
as a realistic view. It's not. Most people
Yes, well,
strive to do a good thing.
a lot of people see realists as pessimists
Mhm.
because we're not all like,
or
somebody's
cynical.
like, oh, every shit's hitting the fan for me, but it's okay, I still got you, and it's like shit's hitting the fan for you because you didn't do this.
What I get a
But
lot
people
is
are like,
that
oh, you're a pessimist. It's like, no, I'm telling
I
you the
don't-
truth.
I don't think
Go
it's
ahead, Katya.
necessarily like pessimism. I think it's like cynicism, like being cynical
I was
about
gonna say
something.
Cynicism?
cynical.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not sure. I really don't. I look in and I like self evaluate myself quite
Mhm.
often, but I never really look more into my philosophical sides. And I appreciate when I get a lot of outside like judgment, like, oh, maybe you're a little too negative, and I'm like, okay, well maybe I
I-
can be a little bit more optimistic as well as being
Mhm.
realistic.
I think it's
that's
just
what I-
maybe
That's what I
people.
fucking read a lot about, and that's what I wanted to pick up. Fucking because one of the main things of Stoicism, and what I'm probably gonna take away from it, is writing down your daily thoughts, realizing are they an
Mm.
internal or external thing that you could do. Is this something you have a control over, or is this something you have no
Yes,
control over?
yes,
And
yes.
just
I think
living with it
stoicism and
moving
realism.
on.
Yeah, I think a lot of. I guess I do have some stoicism.
It's
in me
not
that
even
I think
stoicism.
maybe
it's
it's
just
kind
a
of interchangeable.
habit, and Stoics do this
Mhm.
habit. And
Because
like I was talking about Bruce Lee earlier. Take what works. You know.
a lot of professional sports players actually subscribe to the stoicism because especially in sports, there's a lot of things you don't have control over.
Mhm.
And this is actually how a lot of times they get even better and they focus more on themselves because like you could be a lineman and somebody fucking can't catch the ball. You have no control over the fact that that person can catch the ball, and this is a big stoicism thing. But you personally, maybe there's something you could have done yourself. Maybe you could have blocked this guy a little bit longer.
Mhm.
That's in your control.
It's all
So
about
you do the next
self-improvement.
time. Yes, it's self-improvement, and I think realism and stoicism probably are pretty interchangeable with one another in some regards. I think specifically with
We don't
control
know everything
because
about realism. I don't know everything about stoicism.
I
We're
don't
getting there.
either. Yeah, I personally just find myself realist because I'm like, for instance, say somebody gets a bad grade
Mhm.
on a test. You know, we're gonna bring it into something super simple. Somebody gets a fucking F on a test,
Right.
and they're like, "Oh man, it's just I don't, the tests are just so
Let me
hard."
talk about something personal.
And
Fucking
okay,
say
yeah, go
you
ahead.
fail an entire semester.
Yeah.
I've done that. Internal,
Well,
external. Let's look at the realities of the situation. Externally, what don't you have control over? I
could
don't
just be a
have
hard class
I
or a
didn't have
difficult teacher.
control over my roommate at the time, who was
Yeah.
staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning, playing his game, and I was trying to get ounces of sleep,
Is that
and I'd wake up at 6 to go to class. I couldn't fucking do it.
was it me?
No, it
No.
was, I
Oh.
was going to college at the time.
I know, I
Um,
was joking. I was just saying, like, because a lot of times
no,
we play
fuck you.
really late.
Um,
Uh,
I went through that semester and I failed. What could I have done? I was in a high school mindset and I didn't care about school. I did not give a shit about it. I was not doing my work. I was failing at every opportunity. And it's only recently that I've started to change on that. And recently I've getting really good grades. Like what I used to get back in fucking middle school when I actually gave a shit. Like A's and B's, like not even trying, you know?
I never gave a shit. That's
Yeah,
me.
fuck you, mate.
I still
But
don't give a shit.
it's all about fucking looking at what you control and what you can change. And if
Mhm.
you can't change it, that's it.
I mean, I
It's
want to
true,
just
yeah.
add on to it. Like
Go
for
ahead.
me,
Fuck up
it
the
was kind of
message.
yeah, it kind of like happened to me too. So right after I graduated from high school, I went straight into community college because I had to have some prerequisites completed before I went
Mhm.
to dental hygiene school. It's just constant schooling, and I was just having burnout after burnout because I never really had time for myself.
Mhm.
And like for the first 2 semesters of my schooling in college, it was so hard beyond belief.
Pre-Alex, of course.
Okay, Alex, not everything's about you.
Fucking
No, I'm just
keep going,
teasing.
Katya.
So like it was so hard because my credits per semester was about 18 credits, and a lot of these classes were very core based, and they were very not like new to me, but very academic intensive classes. So I really had to stay on top of it, and I was having such a hard time because my organizational skills were pretty decent, but they weren't like exceptional. I'm not gonna say exceptional either way.
Whoever is good at
Yeah,
organizing
exactly.
school.
Like that's something that it's really like can be achievable, but I'm not gonna be going like
I've gotten really
super
good
like
at organization.
I'm a
Yeah, as I
later
said, I
Yeah.
like
on, but
oh,
organizing.
while working and doing school, like high school and fucking going to college, I was bad. Now I'm good.
Well,
yeah.
the one
So
thing that always pissed me off is they're like, you need to do your essay like 3 weeks before. I'm like, dude, I'm doing that bitch the night before. I'm still gonna get an A.
Yeah.
so
Gotcha. Keep
I
going.
like
can't. I procrastinate.
so I don't want to like thank the pandemic, but like since the pandemic started for me, which was probably like mid spring semester of my second semester of schooling, what I'm really grateful is that I had some
Wow, I
time
can't
of
believe it's
break.
that long ago.
Like it was probably 6 weeks where we still didn't even know if we could go back because in my school that I went to, I have to do clinicals, so I have to interact with patients. And the problem is that since COVID-19 was a huge thing and not all of us knew about what COVID-19 really was. I mean, we know it was a virus, and we knew that it was an airborne disease. Well, not disease, but like
Oh god, she's
infection.
getting into her medical.
Sorry,
Stop her.
sorry. I'll redirect myself. So it's
She's
just
gonna get into the genealogy and
no,
the
I am
genetics
not.
of
I'm not.
COVID-19
Okay, I'm
makeup.
gonna refrain from that. I'm
Let's
sorry.
open up
I'm
a
joking.
book on fucking.
All right, we're gonna divert and talk 3 hours while Katya explains what COVID-19 is.
Okay,
with her...
stop. Okay, I'm sorry. So, like, the moral of the story is that I had time to take a step back, take a break, and I was able to reevaluate, like, my priorities. And I realized how much this career path was important to me. I realized how the school was important to me. And, like, as much as I might have, really moving forward took this too seriously, I think it really worked out at the end because I started appreciating what I was learning. I started to understand the topics much more. And I think that, you know, it's a big general message. I know this is completely away from the topic that we're talking about. I think, you got to be very forgiving to yourself. You got to, like, give yourself a break sometime and not be so hard on yourself. Like, it's not applied to everyone, but, from what I've heard from other people, first year of college is always the hardest because you're, like, straight out of high school, you're going into a new environment, and, like, you really just gotta, take it easy and just appreciate where you're at. Like, be grateful that you're in this setting and be grateful that you're able to study the thing that you truly love. And if you feel like you're at the point where everything is too much, it's okay to take a step back for a little bit, or as long as you want, because it's not going anywhere. It clearly isn't, and at least it's coming from me. I don't know, maybe it's different for everyone else, but I had the opportunity to take a step back and really reevaluate my needs. And
Well,
like,
you beat the Blink 182 curve because I think most people going into college out of high school are like, it's like you're like a Blink 182 song waiting to happen.
I think I am a definition of Blink
You
182.
beat the curve.
But yeah, that's just going off of what Kyle was talking about. I was like, damn, I kind of relate to that. Like I don't want to say I didn't care about college, but I was having such a hard time understanding college, and it's so much more different than high school. So that's my 2 cents.
And I did put a lot of, I guess, now the more I think about it and the way you described it, Kyle, and like doing a little bit more research of my own, I definitely think I have a lot of that stoicism in me with like you can't control this, so don't dwell on it kind of thing.
Right.
Like I do that a lot, but I've had a lot of mixed philosophies. Like I used to subscribe to like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like once you reach self-actualization, you really can help others on top of things. Like your needs are the most important.
Mhm.
And then I did a lot of the realism, I guess stoicism also, and a lot of different I guess determinism and free will. That stuff also helped shape a lot of what my stuff is. But even with like Katya specifically, I would help her out when I met her because I met her.
It was probably like around April. Yeah, we met.
Yeah, it was
each
actually
other.
it was
literally
right during
a
the
month
start of
after
COVID.
it was a month after all schools shut down.
Yeah. It was the start of COVID.
Well, again,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm a stoic. I'm just simply doing what I think.
No. I didn't say you were stoic. I was saying I think I'm more of a stoic from
He
the more you
embraces the
described it.
values of it.
Because the control thing, it's like if I can't control said thing, I shouldn't dwell on it and
Right.
get all pissy about
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Because like I had the instance where, and I helped Katya with this also too. But I had an instance where I had a teacher that, like I said it was in the military. I had to leave for something that I was going to be doing for the military, and this teacher was saying if you don't come, I'm going to fail you for that day for the assignment, and I knew I had control of the situation. I said, well, this is what I can do. I know there's a law that protects me from this. They can't force me to fail and come to something and essentially go AWOL. So I was like, okay, I have control over the situation. I'm going to do this. But on the reverse side, when COVID started, classes started getting all fucky because colleges had no idea what to do.
It was
They were
an
like,
interesting
what
time.
do I do? Do I wait and keep everything in paper and in person, or do I do this? Lo and behold, we're a year later and we're probably going to go straight back into hybridization again because people can't wear a mask or get their vaccine. Now, there were certain things, it's like, shit, I lost a lot of great knowledge from this certain class, but it was out of my control. I can't fight as a lone person, as a lone one man army against a worldwide pandemic. But I knew a lot of people around me that were like, this is bullshit, I'm missing out on this wonderful class time and this important shit. Like, I had a lot
And
of
then
people that were in the
people
music
were like
department.
still
And they
arguing
were like,
about
and
like
it's like,
it was against
you,
your rights.
yes, and people were complaining and they were fighting
Hmm.
against teachers in the school. And it's like, well, you have no control over this. None of us do. But you're making your life 10 times harder and you're throwing yourself into this, I don't know if like a deep depression or deep agony over the sense that you can't have this specific thing. But as a person, you have no control over that. We are at the will of nature. We really were. We really showed this last year and a half, almost 2 years, that Mother Nature is still fucking in control of us. We're simply something that lives on. Whatever's out there controls us. But I personally was like, I don't have control over this, so I'm just gonna live my life and go with the blows. And I think I kept myself above the common trend of what happened with COVID, which is a lot of people got depressed.
Yeah,
A lot of
that was
people
very
had a lot of social
serious.
anxieties come out of sorts, and a lot of people had a lot of mental issues for them. And I know personally,
Hmm.
with my own, I was scared of that at first. I was like, am I gonna fall into or recess back into what I don't want to be? But I think a lot of that stoicism, seeing, well, this is out of my control. Let me just go with the flow. And I think that's a lot of it. Stoicism is kind of like a I don't give a fuck kind of mindset. I'm gonna do and only care about what I can control. And I personally, I was like, man, I'm doing everything that I can do, and I'm happy. You know, I have found and made some of the best memories in my life, obviously with Katya, and I grew and did a lot of things that I never would have done if COVID never happened. Granted, I don't think COVID's great, and I wish it never happened because a lot of people lost their lives, and rest in peace to those people. I hope it's your soul, or you're happy, and I hope that the families are okay. But it was a lot of that thinking that
Right.
I'm in control of my certain things. The rest of the world is out of my control. I need to focus on me and the people that are directly in my reach and try to help them because that's in my control. And I think a lot of us came out of it pretty okay. I know I came out of it pretty well. I didn't really have any bad things other than just being busy with life. But I think stoicism, realism, and all these other things that I've subscribed to or have pulled little snippets out of really helped me as a human being stay in my self-actualized way, if I want to pull from Maslow and use his kind
Right.
of
Finding a philosophy that helps
verbiage.
you move forward.
Yeah, it's like a moving forward. Never. It's not that you're not looking back, but you're never recessing back.
Right.
You keep building yourself up, even with dips. You're still going up and up and up.
Okay. Uh, I know we probably have a bunch more to talk about, but some of us do have places to be. So,
Yes.
any
Yeah,
closing remarks?
We're actually just on 2 hours and 30 minutes as well, so that's perfect.
Wow.
All right.
yeah, that's great. So obviously, you're probably not going to hear this outro. We're probably going to make our own separate one. But just again, if you want us to talk more on certain things like philosophy, we can get into free will determinism. If you want us to talk more on education or get video games, please let us know.
Honestly, not a lot of people
We're,
will probably watch this, but we could do clips.
you
and-
never know. You never
never
know.
know.
Maybe
Never
people always
know.
watch
You never
back.
know.
It's better
Like,
said
YouTube
than
Don't be a
not.
actually
pessimist.
recommends things
Don't
like
be a
10 years
pessimist.
later, and just
Damn near.
rises up, and then all of a sudden you have like an audience like, who are these people?
Yeah. As
Couple-
long as
These
we
are
promote ourselves
amazing.
right, which
Couple
I
thousand or
already.
something.
Yeah. Check us out on social medias. If anybody does watch us, we have two social medias. We have Twitter and Instagram. It's Rambology by GISA.
Alex took the time
Um,
out of his day to make those.
It takes
You know
5
what?
minutes.
He's like
If
the
you have any
true
business
G.
inquiries, email us at rambology.gisa
Business
at
inquiries.
Business.
gmail.com.
We ain't getting no business.
It is RAMBOLOGY dot GISA dot or not dot at gmail.com.
You're doing great,
So-
Alex.
Fuck you!
Business is,
I'm
business
also
is really
tired.
running here.
All right.
But yeah, we'll probably be making a separate outro, so feel free to
Mhm.
let us know what
Fuck
you
it.
want to see if you want to hear. We love you. We hate you. We're a bunch of assholes.
Oh my god, come on,
We're-
be
we're
nice.
No,
pretty
dude,
much
I'm a perfect
incompetent.
human being. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Anyway,
Okay, Kyle.
close out. Hey,
We
fuck
love
off.
you guys.
Oh, God, these
Thank you for joining in for the first
Thank
ever
you so
episode
much.
of Rambology by GISA.
Yeah,
Bye.
you're awesome.
Stop
I hope
recording.
you enjoy this. We'll
Clap.